with the team spirit. And then, yeah, we need to just arrive in the right mindset, which we do. We are well prepared and be ready to decide the match in the little moments that we get.
Spence started out right back today. Was that to provide as little disruption to a back four that's already been changed quite a bit this tournament?
No, something fair to say. Nico played, I think, 3 out of 4 matches, so it's not a problem. Sheriff, I think, played minutes in every match, so no problem at all.
On the right wing, Noni Madueke starts. What does that tell us about Bukayo Saka's fitness?
That's nothing. It just tells you that Bukayo will face you and trust that, yeah.
And overall, you said that this week that you don't expect them to be too glamorous from England, but DR Congo will probably be quite defensive. What do England need to be wary of today?
Counter-attacks, physicality. We just saw the lineup. We need to figure it out because they always play 5-3-2 and sometimes switched more offensively in a 4-4-2. Now it looks like a completely new formation. When we saw the team sheet, so it looks almost as they try to copy Ghana in a 4-5-1. That would mean we have a really, really deep block to drill in and to open up a deep block and being very careful in our structure while we attack to not expose ourselves. So that's basically it. We will attack with 5 to 6 players, but 4 or 5 players have to take care about the coverage and to protect us against counterattacks. And yeah, we need to attack with freedom, but it's important that we're smart and take the risks in the last third and not too early. That we avoid easy ball losses. Whole package. Let's see.
You'd like to say to us?
He said in the build-up to this game as well, Micah, that if England progress through this tournament, you'll see more of the real England when they play teams who attack them and don't just sit back defensively. Would you agree with him on that? Or should he be getting more out of it going against teams who defend?
I agree with him because the game's going to be more open. Of course it is. And see the way he sets up his teams with the winners. He sort of wants to play on that counter attack and forward runs down the width. However, I would have liked to see a little bit more against these teams in that low block. We mentioned it again. I think when I watched them against Croatia, in that second half, they was brave, they was taking risks. I know a lot of people were saying Croatia would further up the field, but against Panama, everything was a little bit too slow. The whole thing of Gareth Southgate, who did such a good job, was Tuchel tactically was supposed to take us to another level.
What, and you don't think he has yet?
Not as this yet. I see a lot of Gareth Southgate within this team, and that is fine at the moment. But the reason why they changed manager was for these sort of games, knockout football. I totally agree that when the game's more open, England will look better. But at the same time, you've got to get there as well.
I think the players have surprised him a little bit, and not in a good way. I see how he interviewed there, and we talk about the low blocks that England have come up against. I don't think he gave that much of a second thought. I think England will be good enough. I think he thought they'd be tactically good enough. I think it surprised him how much of a panic there is once the ball does get turned over and how vulnerable they can be.
Yeah.
He expected England to be in a position where they just dominate, keep probing. But the fact in the last 2 games they've been turned over and they've been threatened so much, it's put the jitters up England so much. They've not been able to consistently be pushing. I think that's surprising something they would have worked on.
I think when you pick a squad and if you look at the starting line today with O'Reilly, with Jed Spence, Anderson, Madueke, there's not a lot of experience among that 4 players. So when you've got almost half your team with not, that much experience or tournament experience as well, there's a lot of pressure and there's, a lot of expectation. You're still trying to find your way into a tournament, and sometimes that's really difficult when you haven't got that experience. So sometimes having a bit more experience of people who know tournaments, because I think there's players there who know tournaments a little bit better than them before.
Are you talking about in the starting line?
In the starting line, right. Yeah, but even on the bench, there's a lot of players who haven't had that experience. But I think the one thing why England brought Tuchel in is for these knockout games. I think there's no danger of us getting to the group. It's these knockout games. This is where he has to go and prove and show himself as a world-class manager, which he is. I think he is. He's already proven that at club level, international level. I mean, we had him with Capello.
Yeah.
Where Capello had come in and took us to the World Cup, and it didn't work out. He really struggled to adapt to being with the team all that time and being at the hotel for that amount of time. So Thomas Tuchel has to prove himself at the world stage now, and I think he will.
Did you sit there with Capello and think, prove to us then that you're this world-class manager. I'm trying to get inside the heads of these England players then. If Joe's suggested Tuchel maybe be a bit surprised by them, are you sat there as a squad guy? Well, come on then, you're the big guy, show us what you've got.
I was very excited, and it's very similar now, obviously, with a foreign manager coming in to manage England for a major tournament. So I think them players will be looking at Tuchel, and obviously it's a bit different because he's managed in the Premier League as well, so we'll know the players a bit better. But you're there as a player, I was there as a player. People with Fabio Capello was our manager. I'm sure it's, and a lot of the time it was very basic and simple, which really surprised me because of obviously his record he had.
Do you think there's a difference between being an experienced club manager but being an inexperienced international manager?
I think, of course, there will be. There's no getting away from it. It's a different game. But I think with Thomas Tuchel, what we're talking about with Wayne there, when we had Capello and we had him talking to us and we were expecting these gems and these nuggets, but it wasn't necessarily coming. It was basically be at your best level and you'll beat the opposition. I watched how these boys have talked about Thomas Tuchel, and it's different how we said the right things. These boys genuinely believe he's the one, and they're looking to him and they need him to lead. He has to lead this young group of men.
Did you say the right things but didn't believe them?
But just on that, a lot of these top managers want full control of everything they're doing, and that's what they've had at the club level. So when you go into international level, you've got players from different clubs, and players have different routines, different way of recovering after games, different way of preparing for games. So you can't have that control because you have to have relationships with the clubs, and that is a lot different to what you'd normally have at club level. So I think you have to adjust, adapt to it, and then find the right solution which will help the players on the pitch.
Okay, well, the DR Congo coach, Sebastian Desabre, has worked in 9 different African countries since 2010 and had 11 different coaching roles on the continent. But under him, they've kept 29 clean sheets in 57 games. And here is the team that he has picked. And as we've said, they've gone to a back 4 today. But Mpassi, who's played only 4 club games this season, is firmly their number 1. All of the back 4 selected are either past or present Premier League players. Sunderland's Noah Siddiqui keeps his place in midfield after impressing against Uzbekistan. And Johan Wissa has had a good tournament and looks back to the form that saw him score 45 Premier League goals for Brentford after a tough first season with Newcastle. DR Congo's only previous World Cup appearance was back in 1974. It didn't end well, 3 defeats, 14 goals conceded. It's been a long road back for them against a backdrop of war and civil unrest. Preparations for this tournament were also impacted when the team had to isolate ahead of entry to the US due to an Ebola outbreak. But Congolese football is now uniting people across political, regional and ethnic divides.
For the Democratic Republic of Congo, the 2026 World Cup marks the end of a long and arduous journey.
History has already been made in a way because Congo has already scored in the World Cup. They already had their first win and they got out of the group stage for their first participation in 52 years. The World Cup is already a success.
Whistler, oh yes! Seal Congo are through to the last 32. What an incredible World Cup it's been for them.
It's just been so good for the country. The energies. We want to really start a new chapter for the country, especially on the sporting side, and influence a lot more change.
The World Cup of 1974 was a traumatic experience for Zaire, as they were then known. Under pressure from the dictator Mobutu Sese Seko, they lost 2-0 to Scotland. 9-0 to Yugoslavia.
And off the line, now it's done again.
And notoriously 3-0 to Brazil. Zaire defender Mweko Ilunga created one of football's most misunderstood moments.
Well, what the hell did he do that for?
There was a lot of mockery back then, sometimes borderline racist on whether the player even know the rules of the game. But actually, it was a deliberate act of protest against the Congolese government and against the situation the players were in at the time. He actually wanted to get a red card because Mobutu, the president, had warned the players that if they were losing more than 4-0, they wouldn't be able to see their families again.
his famous intervention wasn't ignorance. He said it was a desperate act of defiance. It's been a long half-century for the DRC.
Congo has, ever since 1974, gone through two huge wars with millions of losses and casualties.
Despite possessing some of the world's richest deposits of minerals, much of that wealth has failed to benefit ordinary Congolese people.
We wouldn't be able to have smartphones without Congo because 80% of the cobalt production is actually in eastern Congo.
There's a Congolese proverb, little by little grow the bananas. It's about patience, resilience, and trust in the process. Over the past few years, those qualities have defined the DR Congo national team.
Step by step, I think this coach, Sébastien Desabre, put in place a lot of discipline that started on the pitch and also around the team. He wanted to break the bad habits that were around the team, and he started to talk to a lot of players based abroad in the diaspora because the Congolese diaspora is huge.
Representing Congo, for me, it means a lot. You know, it just shows where we've come from. You know, not just me, but the country.
Synonymous to the team's resurgence is a superfan Lumumba Band, who holds a statuesque pose for the duration of their games in tribute to the country's former revolutionary leader, Patrice Lumumba.
He embodies the resilience of Congolese people, still like believing that, you know, tomorrow is going to be better despite very, very harsh conditions. And Lumumba, in a way, he's also dressed like a sapeur.
The Democratic Republic of Congo has already made history in this tournament, and there is hope that this marks the start of a more positive footballing future.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud, and England are next. We need to enjoy this kind of game. We deserve to play against England, one of the best teams in the world.
We don't just want to be participants in the tournament. We want to show the development of not just our country, but African football, and really be pioneers for future generations.
This is a remarkable story, that of DR Congo. And as far as the football is concerned, and as far as this team is concerned, quite a lot of them have not had great seasons. Quite a lot of them actually haven't played that much football for their domestic clubs.
Yeah, I think that's different though. I think sometimes when you're playing for your domestic club and things are not going the right way, you go away with your country. It's a different feeling, and especially someone like Bissett, he's a made man of this team. He can score. He scored what, 3 already at the World Cup. I mean, he wasn't great last season at Newcastle. I think he only scored 1 goal. The season before that at Brentford, he scored 19 goals in the Premier League. He wants to get back to that form, and sometimes you just need to move away from the negativity that he felt on himself at Newcastle because he wasn't firing. Come away from it, be the big man, the main man, and then deliver.
It is, isn't it? As we look at his numbers, in some ways, Wayne, I mean, a change of environment, really.
Yeah, well, you think the history of the country and what happened in 74 and the responsibility, the pressure, but they're representing a country who's been through a very difficult time and they're shining. And, you know, you imagine how good these must feel now going into this game, going into a knockout game against England. The pride, the passion, the love for that country they must feel, and, you know, they're proving people wrong. And
Such a threat though, isn't it?
It's always dangerous when you play a team who are in a situation where they can come out if there's no real pressure on them to win this game, because England are the you know, hot favourites. These are the teams you need to be wary of when the underdogs such as they are.
I just think that his movement in the box there, you see the penalty, you see the 2 before, he's sharp, you can see now. He's full of confidence, and this epitomises that. Getting the ball on the edge of the box. Maybe at Newcastle he would have just set it off. No, I'm going to go out here and whip this into the far corner. It's exceptional stuff. As someone who is full of confidence.
That's perfection, that finisher. As you're saying, it's potentially at Newcastle last year he might have shied away.
Correct.
Just not quite having that moment. We know at Brentford he would have took it on, but now he's come with DR Congo. He feels that confidence. He's the main man. He wants to get on the ball. They're pinning all their hopes on him, and he looks like he's shining with that responsibility.
But those clips showed a little bit of everything, didn't they? Whether it's him good in the air, whether it's him dropping a little bit deeper, whether it's him finding the space as the last man.
He's got a bit of everything in his game, and he didn't have the great season at Newcastle, but he was injured for large periods there, and that's football. He was brilliant for Brentford, as Mika said, but for Newcastle there's high pressure. Obviously they lost Isak, so he hasn't started well, but it's a different release for him right now. And you see the celebration, he's lifted up in the air. He must feel like $1 million.
Let's talk about another player who's known to watchers of the Premier League, and you were a teammate of his at West Ham, Arthur Massalah.
I was surprised what you said to me about him.
Oh, Meeks, I was all over him. I swear, I was with him at West Ham, and I kind of liken him to an Alexander Kolarov playing on that left-hand side. His left foot is an absolute one. He's one of the very few people who come through one-on-one. I'm talking about Kolarov as well included, and I actually go to the position of brace, because they're coming on that angle, and he absolutely wallop it. From distance, he's a threat.
Should have not given to me.
That's brave of you. But not with him. No, honestly, he's a threat, and I want more from his career, because he's a really talented player. He's tricky, he can shoot from distance, and he's got excellent delivery.
Defensively strong?
Probably not his strength. Probably not his strong point. He's a more forward-thinking left-sided player. But honestly, England need to be aware of him, because if he does catch form and does find his feet, he's a real threat.
You know one of their players as well, in Axel Tuanzebe, who came through the youth ranks at Manchester United. He had various injury problems there, so has moved about a bit. But you were at Villa with him.
Yeah, I was with Villa. His attitude is absolutely spot on. What you're going to see in terms of how he plays is very strong. Obviously at Burnley, people know he went down at Burnley, but the thing that struck me with him, when we was out on the training field, he said to me he doesn't like to head the ball, which I was so confused. I was saying, because he can play right back.
I mean, look, we now have the DR Congo have the lowest aerial duel success rate, which is a very unfair timing to put that after that anecdote. However, was he saying that in general, or just on that morning?
Would he duck out the header?
No, he wouldn't duck out of a header, but what he was saying, when the ball used to come long, he'd rather take a touch on it and then try to play it out. He didn't want to go up for the aerial duels, which I found so surprising.
In the Premier League as well, that's dangerous.
It's madness, but in terms of the player that he is, he's aggressive, he's fast, he can tackle. It's going to be a difficult task for runners running
to be
beyond Harry Kane.
To be fair to him, just slightly, don't quite a lot of defenders now like to sort of bring it down and bring it out rather than.
I used to have this with West Brown. When you say, listen, you defend, just defend. Stop trying to play and take the ball. But the game's moved on.
Did you say to Rio as well?
And then the keepers get the ball now as well, so that's even more. But I think defenders now, they're a bit more cultured, and they're probably not as good as defenders, but they're actually better football players, so the game's changed.
And what would Villa fans say you didn't like doing?
Turn it up.
Tackling, winning, anything. There's a nice link actually between Axel Tuanzebe and Marcus Rashford as they come face to face with each other today. That is them when they were both going through the youth system at Manchester United. When they were at Ashton-on-Mersey School as well, they were pupils there whilst going through the youth system at United, which is a lovely photo. Let's go back to Atlanta, where Alan Shearer has escaped the commentary box to give us a pitch report. He's with Kelly.
Yes, former top player, co-commentator, pundit, now pitch expert as well. There's no end to your talent, Alan. But firstly, the thing I wanted to say, it's so nice to see you when we're not getting drenched in the rain. And I wanted to talk to you about these conditions inside the stadium here, because this is pretty favourable again for England.
Well, first of all, the pitch is absolutely magnificent, but you're absolutely right. I think England have got a little bit lucky. Up to now, that may change if they win today and they go through on Sunday with the altitude, but up to now, twice it's been absolutely tipping it down, and twice they've been in air-conditioned stadiums, so not too bad for them at the minute.
Yeah, not too bad. The players, as you can see, warming up just behind us there. 3 changes to the side today, Alan, including another change on the wing. Noni Madueke coming in for Bukayo Saka. The manager says to me, don't read into Saka's fitness with that, but it's not ideal, is it? And do you feel like the wing has actually been a bit of a problem on both sides for
England? I think certainly in wide positions we need to offer a little bit more. I think that's why he's constantly changing both wingers and fullbacks, because he's still searching for those combinations to work. I think certainly in the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes of Panama, Marcus Rashford looked really dangerous. He cut inside and had that great shot. But too many occasions, both on the right side and the left side, I thought they took the easy option. The easy option is a lot of the time is to come inside and whip it in with their right foot from the left or the left foot from the right, rather than going on the outside. On the one occasion we did go on the outside, that was Jude Bellingham. He sort of did that great bit of skill and then went to the byline and dinked it over for Harry for his goal. So I think we need to do more of that.
Yeah, and Thomas Tuchel did say to me this week he doesn't worry about the fact there's been a bit of an over-reliance maybe on Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham, but he did also admit it is time for the other players to step up.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, Alan. Take us into the wide players then, and why it hasn't necessarily clicked.
I feel a bit for the wide players, and I know they're getting a bit of criticism, but I do feel them because I think England aren't positioning themselves well enough to get them in 1v1 situations. So I think if we look here, if you look at Nico O'Reilly's position, I'd like to see him pull out a bit more, which will then create more space in the middle of the pitch for the likes of Jude Bellingham or Morgan Rogers, Declan Rice, whoever that is. And then it allows him to get the ball to feet, to feed Marcus Rashford, to get him 1v1. But it doesn't happen. So now, if you look at Rashford, he has to come really deep for the ball. Now O'Reilly's 2v1, Harry Kane's 2v1, there's nowhere for him to go. So he plays a aimlessly ball forward. We lose the ball, and now this is a situation which Congo will look for tonight in the counter-attack. And again here, O'Reilly in the middle of the pitch. If he pulls out here, the midfield player's got to come with him. It creates a big space for Jude Bellingham then to come into the position where we want to see him. Then you've got players, you've got Rashford, you've got Saka in this instance, pinning their back five back. But then what that does, if Bellingham is in this position, either the centre-back or the midfield player has to engage and has to come to him. Then that creates space for Harry Kane running in behind, or Morgan Rogers, whoever that is, running in behind. But with O'Reilly being there, the pass now to Rashford is too long. There's nowhere for him to go. Now he doesn't even get the ball. But then if you look at all the players, England players, they're all facing their own goal.
Yeah.
So there's no threat to running behind. There's no threat at all. We don't play it to him. We go out the other side. Everything is tight. We can't get the ball to the wide players again. Now Rashford has to come deep once again. He gets a little bit of luck here. They've got bodies around the ball. We lose the ball. And now it's another chance for them to break, a game which Congo will look for tonight. And this is an example where we do it well. So O'Reilly is in the position where I think he should be, and the same on the other side. So now the ball comes to him. All of a sudden you've got Rashford in a higher position where he can get the ball to feet and go 1-for-1. All the players are now facing forwards, facing the opposition's goal. You can get runs in behind like we get here. The centre-back has to come out. Marcus Rashford now is 1v1 inside the penalty box, and we have 3v3 in the box. So I feel a little bit for the wide players because to stick to get them, but we're not actually allowing them to get the ball and get 1v1. We're giving them the ball and there's 2 or 3 players there, so they have to come back or they have to try and do something special, magnificent, which to create something. So I think if we position ourselves a little bit better and stretch the pitch a little bit, it'll make it easier for them wide players.
I totally agree with that, Wayne. I think at times England have not been brave enough. Whether that's an underlocking run or an overlapping run or the position that you find yourself here. I've got a great example when James played against Ghana, and I think this is absolutely perfect. And this is great because this is the position that they might be in tonight. You've got Anderson, James, and Mbeki. And if you look at the pace in which Anderson plays the ball, he's left in a one-on-one situation. And now as it materialises, because of this run, you're going to see Anderson come into this space here. But what that does, it allows that run to occupy 3 players. So you've got the option to go back to Anderson, you've got the option to go in the space with Reece James, or you've got the option to go fast stick as well. And as we stop it here, because the striker that has to come across, now that leaves space at the edge of the box, it didn't materialise with a back ball in. But as for a fullback, that is perfect, and you've still got your cover. So tonight, Spence has to be brave when going forward. Nico O'Reilly's a little bit different because he gets up in like the number 10 positions, but down that right hand side, Spence has got to go with conviction, and you'll get those results.
As Wayne's analysis showed a couple of times out, the problem is if they move it slowly and then come inside where the space is flooded, they can lose the ball and then are susceptible to the counter-attack. And that's where you sensed a slight vulnerability, have you?
Well, I have, because I think the counter-attack is a calculated risk with having them playing, especially when they're playing so high up the pitch and they're going to create so much energy, so much forward playing. So they'll have a plan in place for the counter-attack. Now, when it comes to the counter-attack, it's so important. Your centre-backs and your number 6 are the most important players in this. As we pause it, that is a gaping hole. That is unacceptable at this level. That Anderson there, he's getting sucked into trying to do too much. That's where I want him, sat in front of Congo and Gahey. He ends up confusing the matter. Now, England are being told here, nearest person engages. Slow them down, we'll get the numbers back. Declan Rice engages, but he doesn't win it back. England are all over the shop. Pickford's a little bit, shall I come, shall I not? He ends up coming, it's an absolute mess, and that could have cost England. And unfortunately, it's happened one too many times. We see Eze here receiving the ball, and England needs to be set up. You need to be thinking defensively, even when you're on the offensive. Now, Gahey, this is his instructive from the manager. You're the first person, so you need to have eyes on the ball, go and engage, slow him down. We've got Rice highlighted, and we've got Konza. Konza's so important now. It's about communication. Gahey has to lock on. Gahey has to take care of the ball. Konza, his eyes are off the ball. He thinks that Rice is helping. Rice isn't helping. He's a couple of yards out. Next minute, we're in this awful situation. Konza ends up making a crazy tackle. Could have been a red card. Could have been a penalty. England get away with it. Now, this is happening one too many times, and I think it can be sorted with communication. Communication is key from the centre-halves, from the people deeper in the pitch. We're going to see Gahey here, and I think his communication with Anderson at this moment is massive, because if we roll it on, we'll see, goes in, no problem. We're going to have moments where the ball turns over, absolutely no problem. Now, Gahey needs to be saying to Anderson here, hold, you're so important to us, we can't win it back, we've got numbers that, we're vulnerable, stay where you are. No communication. Anderson's such a giddy, he's so on the front foot, such an excitable player. He ends up vacating the space. Of course, he's engaging here, and he believes he can win the tackle. He doesn't. And now a better team will strip through England here. But England have got such honest, great players. They work so hard, and this is when England feel comfortable. They've got their numbers back, they're set up, they're saying get through us. Not a problem. England will defend that all day against these sorts of teams. It'll be difficult against the better teams, but of course you cross that bridge when it comes to it. This is England when they're at the best on the turnover. Look at the communication here, look at the setup. Gahey just setting things up. The ball could potentially turn over. Every single bit of it is covered, and this is when England can be at their best. Anderson's holding, he's ready to engage, he's nice and organised, and people can afford to attack that ball. Can they turn it over? Can they make the tackle? Bellingham, brilliant, the number 10, chasing back, turns it over, end of danger. And that's when England are at their best, when they're organised and they're communicating. But that player right there, he needs help from his centre-halves. They need to be giving him all the encouragement, telling him when to go and when not to.
But that goes back to the experience I was talking about, because you've got Gahey, you've got Conte. I don't know how vocal they are on the pitch, but if you've got a bit of experience, that's why I think not taking Harry Maguire was such a shock, because having that experience in there, who's going to organise, going to, pull players into positions or scream out someone to stay and hold the position. I think that is really important for that situation, because a lot of teams are looking to play in counter-attack, especially against England, because England have a lot of the ball. So just not having that experience in the team can really hurt.
So you know you're close to the England camp. You see when Anderson is running out there, you think he's being told to do that?
I think the nearest player, I think the narrative is the nearest player go and slow them down. I think Anderson's got so much energy, he's on such a high right now, that he's actually being counterproductive to his position. That's where I need my Konzas, that's where I need my Gays, that's where I need my Pickford saying, Elliot, stay, hold. Can you hold, and can we just sit up? I mean, stay, Chapper, stay.
I'm not going anywhere, Joe. I'll do whatever you tell me to do.
But that's what you need. You need to be. If your team is attacking, people will always say to me, if you're in a dominant team, like, what are you doing? You're constantly monitoring who you communicate with. Can you stay on top of things? Can you have that communication so it turns over and you're back at it?
That's where Roy Keane, for instance, if players in that position. I remember playing when I went to Derby County as a player. I had a young man called Max Baird next to me, and I knew my legs, I couldn't cover the ground as well as I could when I was younger. So I was exactly the same. I was saying, you don't move, you stay next to me, you do not move. I needed that player next to me. So it's that experience and that and commanding to your players to make sure you stay in the right positions.
Imagine him playing behind you.
Can I go on to the next thing? Can I go on to the next thing?
Now, go.
All right. No England player in history has played more minutes at major tournaments than Jordan Pickford. It's his 30th consecutive start at either the World Cup or Euro, stretching back to Russia in 2018. The Everton keeper has been the one constant in an ever-changing backline.
87 caps for England, 29 major tournament appearances in a row. Don't think there's too many players that are better equipped to tell us
for the first group stage to win the group is closed now, and we've done that job. We're into the next chunk now, and the manager's separated into these next two games. We'll never look past Congo. We'll always focus on that game first and follow after.
Thomas Tuchel told us after Panama that we would see a better England in the knockout stages. What do you think needs to be better?
I think we'll just start to know more. They'll see the best of us. We know teams are going to be hard to break down. It's about being patient and waiting for our opportunity. We know we want to be scoring 5-6 goals, but that's tournament football. It doesn't come like that.
England do play a higher press now. They're more intense, more on the front foot, which does mean that we've seen the teams in the group stages counter at times. Does that make you feel a little bit more exposed?
Yeah, that's why I've got to be ready for my moment. If we'll have to play high, I've got to be high because they need to feel that support behind. But we've also got past defenders, so then I've got to balance it between me and defenders.
How do you assess your performances in the group stages?
Good, I think on the whole, that third group game against Panama was standard. Just happy in the all-round game. I think I ticked a lot of boxes in possession, start possession, making saves, coming through crosses. I think it was just a solid game, and nice to finish the group stage like that.
You have been here multiple times. Are you one of the leaders now?
I'm always vocal. I have that trait, and that's part of me. I'm at my best when I'm leading, and that's when I want think on the pitch I showcase it.
I was going to ask you what type of leader you are, but I think I probably know. You're just loud, aren't you?
No, I think I'm loud, I'm vocal, but I just want the best. People think, oh, he's going berserk. People should be going, he just wants the best for the team.
You talk about going berserk there, but that's something you've changed a little bit over the years, isn't it? As you've matured, it feels like you've channeled that.
Yeah, I think I've definitely channeled it.
How have you done that?
Work.
What
No, I think I just doing it at the right times, the crucial thing. I don't think I would ever start shouting or commanding if someone messed up. I think I do it when I know that they can do better, because we all want one thing, we always want to win.
You sat here before and spoken to me at major tournaments and said England can win.
Yeah.
Why can England win this?
Belief, togetherness. We've had that previously. Manager's got that belief in us. With me, the manager, as with us, he gets it coming out of the field. He's like, you ready to go more?
I spoke to Joe Hart before this interview, and he said you've been solid so far, but he feels like knockouts are when you shine. Do you agree?
Yeah. The first time I played was 2018 World Cup. The first game's always the most important one to win.
Why do you thrive so much on them? Is it the pressure?
I think pressure, I think passion. Wanting to do well for the nation. I'm proud. Every time I put that shirt on, I'm so proud to wear it. I know what everyone wants back home. I know what we want is the group of players and the staff involved, the hard work everyone puts in. We all want one thing. Not about football, it's the best out of it.
Come on, Joe, he's only the 5th European goalkeeper to make 30 or more appearances at major tournaments, and that puts him alongside Neuer, Lloris, Buffon and Casillas. So that's some company, that.
Proper names, proper numbers, proper goalkeeper when it comes to tournament football. It's true what Kelly said, and I do feel that about him. I feel like England have just been finding their feet. Has Jordan been at his best? No. Has he needs to be at his best at this moment? No. But I do feel when we get to these really big ones, that every save matters, every single touch matters. That's when he comes into his own. He's proved it in penalty shootouts. We've seen it in this round of 32 that it's going to be important. You're going to have to win a penalty shootout to win this tournament. And he's been massive in those sort of things for England. Makes big saves. He's such an important cog.
Do you think he gets the credit he's due?
It's hard because you say that, right, but he gets the credit because he gets picked to play for England every single time. And I had to keep reminding myself when I played that I'm not just getting picked to play for England like it's a club. He's the best goalkeeper in the country, and I think he's got some real competition coming up. I think this is his time. I think with Trafford doing, potentially moving in the summer, could be going somewhere that's playing Champions League or European football. Dean Henderson doing the same, winning European trophies. I think this is Jordan's time. I think he's set it up so brilliantly. He's been so good for Everton, so good for England, but he needs trophies to his name now.
How tough is it for him that he's been playing behind 12 different defenders in 11 competitive internationals?
Kind of is what it is, chappers. I think modern day football, ideally you want your old school back four in front of you, where you know everyone's move, you know everyone's pace, you know everyone's going to set things up, but a modern day footballer and a modern day, especially in the elite teams, it changes all the time. So it's having that understanding. He's a senior player. They know him. They believe in him. It's about him getting the best of the people in front of him. And very much like my piece that I did with the counter attacks, it's about the communication and understanding.
How do you deliver what? How do you know if you're always constantly changing in front of you? Then does that not change the way you react to things as a goalkeeper?
Of course, and then you've got to be able to adapt at the top level. You've got to be able to adapt and overcome any situation, because you could have, especially in tournament football, with injuries and things like, you could have a centre half playing right back and all these sorts of things. But that's what the downtime's for. That is where the work that we don't see, the work in the classroom, the conversations at dinner, that's where you've got to be getting the best out of each other, the understanding, so that when you walk out into that pitch, you believe so much in each other.
I think the connections and relationships are very important, and I think when you look at teams, you look at Arsenal this season, other than injuries, they don't change the back four, the two centre-backs, the goalkeeper is really important. Like, messed around, the goalkeeper is quite good, but the goalkeeper is very important, the two centre-backs, midfield, but that's fine. I mean, you think of Chelsea, you think of Peter Cech, John Terry, Carvalho, McAlea, Lampard, Drogba. You go through any team who's successful, they've got that spine, the team is there all the time. So I think when you keep chopping and changing, and you're asking players to come in for 1 or 2 games and asking them to perform at the highest level, I think it's really difficult to go and win trophies.
Talking about connections then, flip it to the other end of the field, and this sort of burgeoning relationship between Kane and Bellingham, which maybe didn't feel as connected in the last Euros, but certainly feels a lot more connected at this tournament. Do you know why?
I think that the two players who will win, if England don't win this World Cup, it's largely because them two. I think Jude spoke about it before. His passion, his desire, his hunger, his intensity in him is incredible. He's an example to his teammates sometimes when they're maybe not feeling the game, and which happens. He's an example. He keeps going, and Harry Kane is the talisman. He scores the goals when you need them. So yeah, I think them two, they are the last game, they're having a bit better understanding. So hopefully that can continue, and we'll go and see us lift this World Cup.
I think it just Kane, they built the team around Kane because he's the best player. Bellingham's fell into that. I know there's the whole talk about him and Morgan Rogers, but if you talk about big game players, Bellingham is the pressure of playing for Real Madrid, and he does it for his country as well. I think that's why it's worked, because there's been a clear plan from Tuchel. Kane, you are my man. Everyone has to work around that, and that's why I think it's been successful. Where a couple of years ago, everyone was talking about, is Kane coming a little bit too deep? Is he disrupting the team? But now the plan is clear.
Well, that's the difference, isn't it? The best players, to make them elite, step up in the most important moments.
Yeah, and I absolutely love it. Exactly what Mike has said. Kane is the conductor of this orchestra, and Bellingham's played into it beautifully, because he realised that he might not be the number one in terms of the star on the list, but with Harry Kane being so unselfish, he can still have the big moments.
Okay, they're on their way. England's knockout stages gets underway in Atlanta against DR Congo. Settle in for the ride. You can watch the match in your HD on iPlayer. Audio description is also available. Select AD on iPlayer, and let's head to the stadium and our commentary team. Alan Shearer, and first of all, Glenn Mowbray.
Thank you, Mark. And good morning, everyone, from Atlanta, where it's not quite midday, where it is stiflingly hot, but not in this magnificent covered stadium, which is cool in every sense. Should England need any excuses at the end of this, the conditions won't be one. Their first game of all or nothing, the Democratic Republic of Congo have come through one with their historic first ever World Cup win in their last game here against Uzbekistan. Now, the national anthems. came out onto the field. Welcome like the Beatles were back in the day.
Yeah, this is where it really matters. This is where the competition really starts. England can now slip it into fourth gear, hopefully, and kick on and have the belief and the confidence that they keep telling us that they've got with. They've had the previous tournaments and the experience and all of that. Let's see it from now onwards.
It really has gone up a level or two. Can England, USA, to hear the world. Ewan Wissa has upped his level from the 60s just had with Newcastle. 3 goals scored for Newcastle United in the whole of this injury-hit season. 3 goals scored by him at this World Cup already. Referee is from Jordan. Adam McCadman getting his third game of the tournament. The most recent was Belgium 5, New Zealand 1. The first was Spain 0, Cape Verde 0. And the brilliance of goalkeeper Jorginho. VAR. It's Qatar's Khamis Al-Mari in France. England team shapes like this. Jordan Pickford in goal, behind the defence of Spence, Konsa, Gahey and O'Reilly. John Stones still can't get a place in the starting lineup. Elliot Anderson and the returning Declan Rice are the engines. Noble, support for Kyle and Noni Madueke, Jude Bellingham, Marcus Rashford and of course Harry Kane. Madueke back in for Saka. For the Democratic Republic of Congo, it was thought they may revert to a back five as per their first 2 matches, but it looks like a back four who all have Premier League experience. Wan-Bissaka, Bemba, Twanzebe and Matsuaku. The only change in personnel from the Uzbekistan Wensies, and Yaliel Mukau returned to midfield with Newcastle's Wissa as the lone striker. Cedric Bakambu drops out. When you think about England's right-back issues, there's a strange irony that Wan-Bissaka lines up there against them, having been called up by Gareth Southgate in 2019. He might not have been far away from a place in Thomas Tuchel's plans. Sebastian Vissar has done a quite incredible job, the Frenchman in charge of the Democratic Republic of Congo. As he says, we don't have much to lose. Our World Cup is already a success relative to our goals. England are still a distance away from their final target. Here we go then. An early start here. I'm sure for many of you at home, an early finish from work. Let's hope this makes it worthwhile. An early exit, unthinkable for England. Madueke will give chase, but it is cleared away.
I don't know about you guys, but it feels slightly different for me today. There's an excitement, there's an expectancy, I think, as well from the England fans.
There really is. Declan Rice just gets there to keep it in. No, he doesn't. The flag has gone up. It was a close run thing. Yeah, the noise for the national anthem, for the players just taking the field, was something that we've not heard in the 3 group games.
Yeah, they turned up in thousands again, the England fans, and we arrived here yesterday. We're in good form, all happy, all having a good time, well behaved.
I think we've been taken aback by the number of expats there are across the USA who are taking full advantage of the tournament being in this part of the world. They are travelling all over the place. They will keep the ball, but DR Congo, and we will shorten it to avoid it becoming too much of a mouthful throughout the match. We'll try and push forward now, down the left and into the centre with Wissa. I think he's taken you by surprise, hasn't he, Ewan Wissa?
Yeah, he's just had a really tough season at Newcastle. It started off bad for him, actually. Didn't get much better. Injuries, form, all of those things are just having worked for him at Newcastle. But as we all know, as we saw at Brentford, there's without doubt a player in there and a very, very good finisher, as he's already proved in this tournament.
If he takes his World Cup fullbacks to George's Park, you've got yourselves a new striker, effectively. Here's Rashford. Kane loses possession. Mukio. There's another ex of Newcastle, Chancellor Bemba. Part of the team that went down and came back up a few years ago now.
I don't think they'll be as defensive as we've seen England's opposition in the last two games. I think they'll offer a little bit more in terms of forward positions. They can certainly go more direct, but that's not to say that they are very good defensively.
Goalkeeper Passy had to be really sharp there. Jude Bellingham putting him to an early examination.
Just giving him a little look back as well and saying to him, yes, I was an inch or two away. And he was. Look how close that is.
Lionel Passy is unmoved. As for Le Havre in France, there's no home-based players in the DR Congo squad. In fact, 6 of them, as of yesterday, 30th of June, are clubless. Contracts up. Future's not decided yet. The same goes for one of England's. If John Stones gets on, I think I'm right in saying he'll be the first ever England player to represent his country whilst technically not having a club to play for. Wan-Bissaka. He's missed by Mukio. And then Kane to get it and look for Madueke next. Rashford coming in from the left. He's trying to time his advance. Madueke might need the help of Jed Spence. He doesn't, he needs the help of Elliot Henderson. Rice. Madueke. Passy can leave it. The ball swung into the box and already might be just optimism deceiving the mind, but it just looks altogether brighter.
Well, I would love to have seen Madueke go out of the defender. He had the opportunity. It was a good ball into him from Harry Kane down England's right-hand side. He didn't, he came back, but then they came out on the left, and Rashford tries to put the cross in without success.
Returns. Relegated with Burnley last season. Wan-Bissaka went there with West Ham, of course, too. Hands on from Spence. Referees have been up with that. He felt that was normal contact.
Just a little touch.
Declan Rice.
As you called it, though, Guy, it is 4 at the back for DR Congo.
Which in itself suggests that they won't be as defensive as England's last two opponents, because they played a back five against Portugal and against Colombia. They were hard to break down. But I think the confidence has grown after, late on in the game, second half particularly, blowing Uzbekistan away.
So I think the results against Colombia, Portugal suggest that they have no moves and they know what they're doing. They know how to defend. If they can, they'll try and hit you on the break. And the format whistles in.
It's been a little like Tuchel's own mantra. They are a team. They come from all over Europe predominantly. One player is from the United Arab Emirates, but when they come together, they live and breathe football together. Spence having to work again to adjust that protection that he wears on his jaw after the blow he took at Chelsea later on in the season. Really good ball in, and it's nowhere ahead of Spence, and this is a chance, and it's there! What a start for the Democratic Republic of Congo! Brian Sipanga with a wonderful finish. This is not how England envisaged the game starting. He had the freedom of the left-hand side, and he had the confidence to blast the ball past Pickford.
Well, you can see Declan Rice having words with the players in and around him. You can see the shock on the England players' faces and the England fans because and this is not what they expected. The switch of play there, and there's a little flick on maybe, but then the touch with the left foot, and he was no other thought than to get that shot away. But look how open England are defensively. Pickford gets done at his near post. I mean, they're all over the place, England. Spence comes in to try and make the tackle and doesn't get there. But Pickford, I think, should do better at near post. He shouldn't be beaten there. The goalkeeper of his quality.
Celebration to match the goal. In style, DR Congo are in front. Brian Sipanga's first ever international goal. It's only his second start. Oh, that was a really nasty fall for Patsy, who came to get it, and it was his own player who was underneath it.
Looked a nasty one, that, didn't it? He made his mind up. He was coming really, really early for that ball to take it off. Masuaku.
Yes.
He collects it really, really high, but I think he actually falls down on his own player really, really openly. It's excellent in what he's trying to do. And he did it, but just the fall.
Landed kind of the base of the neck, didn't it? It's Arthur Masuaku, or just on the back, was it square on the back? That's a painful one for Patsy. Really good claim.
Said about them defending and trying to hit England on the break. Didn't expect them to do it very, very early in this game. But England, from an England point of view, they were so open.
Came after a little square of passes on this near side, the DR Congo right. And the switch just seemed to catch England out altogether.
Sapenga's not offside, you can see him. He's looking right along the line and he shouldn't be offside. And Spence gets drawn in. Then he tries to recover himself and get across and make the tackle. But the space between the fullbacks and the centre-halves is huge, as is the gap at the near post from Jordan Pickford. He takes it early. That's what confuses Pickford. There's no doubt he should save it. He should do better.
Goal scored by Sipanga, who's been playing with Castellon in the Spanish second division over the last 2 years. He's leaving, he's staying at the same level, but he's joining Almeria on a free transfer. And he's got the goal. And has led to a bit of England infighting. Jude Bellingham just barred something at the bench, stretched his arms out in frustration.
Declan Rice was doing exactly the same as well to his teammates who were in front of him. He was going mad once the ball had hit the back of the net, and rightly so, because they were all over the place. Well, the question's been posed. What have you got, England? How good are you? And how much do you want to get through this game and into the next round?
Tuchel said pre-tournament, young group, courageous group, brave group. Let's go for it. All of those questions have to be answered now. Let's see if they are all those things. There goes Madueke. Vegas enjoying himself.
Is he?
Well, he was for a moment. Bellingham. Anderson. O'Reilly. Bellingham. Working out to Spence, and Spence has been matched instantly by Twanzebe. Did play once for England's under-21s. Joined Manchester United aged 8, along with Marcus Rashford. They were at school together.
They're not playing a back five, but they're certainly playing a five in the midfield when they haven't got the ball.
It's Conte. Spence returns it. And of course the game plan now can change. They may well just sit in a bit more defensively and make it hard for England to break through. I'm sure they will. Spence to Bellingham. O'Reilly. Rashford. Saka, who knows him so well, time together at Manchester United. Madueke. Take on Masuaku. And he's got a chance to deliver now. Could have actually backwards out of the box. Rashford to Rice, and Rice just blasts the ball against Mutasami to win a corner.
Well, at least Madueke went on the outside rather than keep coming on the inside, taking the easy option. I don't mind that now and again, but you have to go the other way as well. As I was speaking to Kelly on the pitch before the game.
Rice back on the field after missing the last game to take England's corners again. And he's seen Bellingham at the back, he just couldn't get onto it in time.
Past everyone, didn't it?
Harry Kane's just very demonstrably applauded the corner of Rice. And there's an appreciative nod from the coach as well. It's all he's appreciative of at the moment. O'Reilly. It's closed down really smartly by Duku. Anderson. Wins the ball from goal scorer Sitanga.
They had to win it as well, otherwise England were in trouble again.
Gay. O'Reilly leaves it for Bellingham, ordered to do that. Bellingham in, it's going to drift away from Kane and from Madueke. England starting to rouse themselves.
See exactly what Bellingham's trying to do, just trying to guide it in and curl it in with the outside of the right boot. Just gets a little bit too much on it.
Hear the shout of Pickford saying time to Nico O'Reilly above the capacity crowd in this incredible sporting arena. Just over 68,000, I think, is the official capacity of it. It feels bigger than that.
It's a brilliant stadium, isn't it? It really is impressive.
With Spence. Into Sammy's header. Anderson. To Gay. Bellingham. Immediately, Mutasami was upon him. The help of Sitanga. Rice. O'Reilly. To Rashford. Front foot goalkeeping again from Lionel Mpassi.
Really good goalkeeping from Mpassi. Dangerous ball in again with the right foot from Rashford. Keeper's got a decision to make, and he made it really well.
A lofty position but he can command his area, that's for sure. Rice wins the ball in front of Mokau. Helps the DR Congo through. Masuaku.
England are going to have to do what so many teams haven't been able to do against DR Congo. Once in 57 games under this manager, they've only conceded more than one goal.
Spot on. That was in an African Nations Championship game, which is a competition on the continent reserved only for home-based players. And you've seen at this World Cup, they haven't had many of those. Wissa stopped from having a way through, and he's still on the floor. There's a little bit of hesitancy between O'Reilly and Conser. Spence has to help them out, and Spence is being given the work over by Setenga. Once more, same in every game, moments of real untidiness in defence.
Messy, sloppy, too many errors.
Give it away again. Conser this time does get it clear. Bellingham, chased by Mutaseka. Rice won't get to that. Well picked up by Wan-Bissaka. That's just a bit rash, and then a bit more than that from Bellingham. He's going to be carded. We do see that from Jude Bellingham. We see it for Real Madrid when things aren't going entirely his way. Wouldn't want to take that streak out of him, but got to manage it now.
Made his mind up. He was going in for the crunching tackle 2 or 3 seconds before, and there was no stopping him, no change, and he couldn't change his mind. And it is a yellow card, there's no doubt.
Drifts wide.
Doesn't help, does it? Talk about England being sloppy defensively, maybe Pickford not being as dominant as we've seen him in the past. It doesn't help when you're chopping and changing full-backs. There is a nervousness about England defensively.
Did see a nice line about England bringing in a psychologist in camp to help with preparation for matches, and one fan rather wittily said, can he play right back? Pickford. That's away from Bellingham.
I remember a time a few years ago that was one of our strongest positions. We had so much strength and depth there, didn't we?
Never changed that often either. Positions seem to be handed down, kept for a decade, and handed on again. Same with the left backs. Nice bit of sidestepping from Pemba. He finds Wan-Bissaka. He's been chased really keenly by Marcus Rashford, who won the ball. Second attempt was deemed a foul, though. Free kick for the Democratic Republic of Congo.
I don't mind that from Marcus Rashford, though. Tracking back as he's got to do. He did it well. He's a little bit unlucky. His first challenge was excellent.
Many might have seen it as a foul. It was the second one that he was penalised for, but
That one on.
Mvuku. Setenga. Wissa's calling for it. In fact, Wissa then ordered him to go on down the left-hand side. He seemed to be confused by the mixed messages. He gives the ball away. And that's gone away as well. Quite a few England fans around us getting to their feet. They're gesticulating, and you can hear them booing now.
It's just sloppy all over the park from England. We've seen it in defensive areas too. And now we're seeing it in forward positions. A really sloppy start from England. Haven't connected at all as yet.
Gay Rashford. Oh. Well, it is time for the first hydration break, the first half break. And the boos are perhaps not just for the break, but for what the England supporters have seen from their team. There's that QR code on your screen that you can scan to get the 3D experience. Follow the viewpoint of the players in the BBC Sport app by doing that. Let's get the viewpoint of Joe Hart. Joe, I assume you're a bit like Alan and very frustrated with what you've seen so far.
I think we all are in the studio. I think DR Congo have been excellent. England look solid to start with, actually, shape-wise, but DR Congo have got no fear. They've got no fear of this England team, and you can feel it. And England are looking a little bit shaky. You saw that Jude Bellingham tackle. You've seen the ball going out of play. England, this is a really important hydration break.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, this might be one, Alan, that suits England just nicely.
Yeah, I don't agree with him, but I think it's come at the right time for England, because you can see Thomas Tuchel going around all his players, because not one of them has put in the performances yet. It's been slow. There's been too many errors, including the goal. They've been too open when they've lost the ball. They've been punished. And they've been all over the place, and it has to get better. Not good enough. Really, really not good enough. We've seen them, I think, in the 4 games we've had up to now. They've had one good half, which that was the second half against Croatia, and it's been too bitty in other games. Yes, we might have got the results and finished top of the group, but what we've seen in that first quarter, if you like, is nowhere near good enough.
This, of course, is just the start of your World Cup day. Well, I can call it today, coming up on BBC One. 12:50 a.m, so technically that's tomorrow. BBC One and iPlayer. The USA against Bosnia-Herzegovina, and believe me, this country is getting very excited about that. And then tomorrow, Thursday, it's Spain against Austria from 7:30 on BBC One and iPlayer, and Portugal against Croatia, 11:30 p.m. on BBC One and iPlayer. Battle of the grand old stages in that one. Cristiano Ronaldo against Luka Modric.
Tasty.
More concerned with what's going to happen here in Atlanta for the rest of this one, because with a quarter gone, that's the kind of England feeling. That gentleman there is summing it up nicely. England are a goal down, and they haven't yet had a shot on goal, nor even a proper touch in the DR Congo penalty area.
And that sums it up perfectly. DR Congo point of view, they've been outstanding. Come out with the attitude. We don't care who you are or what reputation you have. Reputations don't win you games. The attitude and the ability on the ball do. And they've been the better team by far.
And these words, Alan, that we hear, courageous, brave, where is it?
We're yet to see it from the team in white.
Brave there, Pemba. He won the header. Anderson to O'Reilly, and back with Gay. Konsa. That wicket seemed to have timed his run. His touch is good too. Bellingham again in the middle. Wicket down. The screams came a bit from him, mainly from supporters. Not from anybody else particularly, and the referee wasn't bothered one bit.
He's got to do better in that situation. It's a brilliant run, first of all, and then you're waiting for the ball to find you, and it did. You're 1v1 against your opponent. That's where it makes the difference. That's where you create the chances from. It's what you want in that situation. You want to go up against your opponent even better. More so, you're in the box because you know he can't touch you.
Thrown into DR Congo. Declan Rice chased Yohan Wissa. That was the challenge of Aswar Kuon. And Weke, it's ever been given as a penalty.
You just said you're not getting past me. So that's what that challenge is. It's not a penalty at all.
And Spence. Spence takes on his right beating. And Jet Spence is taken out. That will be a free kick. That will be a card. Sunderland's Noah Siddiqui covers every blade of grass throughout the course of a game. He was looking too keen there.
Well, that's a little bit better from England. We've seen the ball over the top into Madueke. We've now seen Jet Spence advancing down that right-hand side and winning England a free kick in a dangerous position.
Declan Rice delivery. Riley, Konsa and Gavey all got forward for it. It was missed by Siddiqui, and it was bumped wide by Konsa. I don't think he knew too much about it.
I don't think he did at all. Just sort of hit that left foot, and from our view up here in the commentary position, I was waiting for that to hit the back of the net. Keeper couldn't do a lot about it if it is on target. Just hits his right knee, doesn't it?
He locks in, they're going. Bellingham. Madueke. Got half a yard here. The delivery is disappointing. It's easily got rid of by Tuanzebe. Anderson. Nice to Spence. Konsa. Nicely put under pressure by Sepenga. Spence. To Rice with the ball in, looking for Bellingham. Really good save, Patsy. No time for it. But he was positioned perfectly for it.
Much, much better. The quality of the cross from Declan Rice is superb. Bellingham arriving late, as he's so good at.
He's changed the mood here. You can hear it. You can see it on the field. Gahey. Rice. The passes are being found. Players are locating the space to be in.
Showed a little bit more energy from England, and the ball and moving it a little bit quicker as well.
That's what they've got to do. That's Anderson. Here's Rashford. Wan-Bissaka couldn't cut it out, but Rashford couldn't keep it in.
It's a tough one for him to get hold of. But the ball in from Declan Rice into Bellingham was superb. The bend on it, difficult for a defender to get near. And the positioning from Jude is great, and he just can't get it back across the goalkeeper enough. See exactly where he's trying to go. It's a little bit straight at him, isn't it, rather than a crossing.
A spectacular save. It was a save. Head down, you heard him scream. Very nonchalantly just says get back up.
I think that was, I know I'll get me on the end of that pass, but I'll try and get something out of it. Done myself a few times.
You never did.
I got the same answer from the referee as well.
Actually, you did. I saw you. Here's Pemba. Buku. Riley is giving instructions to Rashford whilst defending. Wan-Bissaka. Walk out. Buku again. Pemba. Finds Sepenga. All eyes. What a touch. Now we have a run at Spence. Being helped kind of by Madueke. Great skills by Sepenga. Nearly came to Musa. Kane has to get back and assist. Rice has lost the ball to Siddiqui. Sepenga's causing mayhem down the left. Here he goes again. Just got that off the wrong top of the foot, and it goes well wide.
Turned him inside out. Jet Spence, he had him where he wanted him. He decides to go to the byline and try and clip a
Jet Spence inside out. As the coming together between Member and Kane. Bellingham. Wiki checks his run, stays onside. Wanted it early. Anderson. Wan-Bissaka beating Rashford to it.
He knew straight away once Elliot Anderson was pulling that trigger, pulling that right foot back. Knew where that pass was going. He read it well, Wan-Bissaka.
Rashford. Kane. O'Reilly. Konsa. Madueke. Penga across. Madueke has beaten him easily. Headed away. Tuanzebe's won back by O'Reilly, but it's been deemed a foul. Free kick for DR Congo.
It's positive from Madueke, though. That's what I've been asking for him to go on the outside a little bit more, and he's done it once or twice now in the last few minutes. Just needs that final cross in, the most important bit. The quality of the cross. Like Declan Rice's was. Someone to get on the end of.
Sort of approach we've been seeing from Penga, who, as we earlier mentioned, plays in the second level in Spain. And you can just see the hunger in him. This is his moment. He's going to take it.
Why not? With the start that he had, with the finish that he had. He wants the ball, he's demanding the ball. And when he gets it, he's causing trouble.
He's been in Spain a couple of years after starting out in Portugal, where he moved when he was young and did the rounds of lower league clubs mainly. There's Gahey. There's Rashford, he's looking for Kane. Might come the Kane again. He would have done, but for Brixton Tuanzebe. Madueke. Madueke in. Blocked on the line, and a save that is by Wan-Bissaka. O'Reilly.
Much better from England, much better. More positive, quicker on the ball.
And Madueke knows he's got Masuaku.
He's got Tessa on the outside. That's what I've been shouting that we should do more. He's done it 3 times now. Causing problems. That all came from him being positive, going past his player and getting to the byline.
And he's done it again. He's got help here from Spence. Keeper gets a glove to it. Madueke's in the box now. No chance to shoot. When there was, Sadiki was in the way. Rice. Spence. Onto Bellingham. Tuanzebe is defending with every bit of quality he's got.
Been brilliant, hasn't he? Had to be. I think it was him that was desperately trying, lunging, getting that ball off the line when Rashford hit it.
Remember a game he had for Manchester United. They went to Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League when he looked like being one of the best defenders ever to play at Old Trafford. It never quite came about for him consistently. So he's trying to ruse a decision going against his team. As we look at Harry Kane being blocked brilliantly by Tuanzebe.
It was a fantastic tackle, Bill. It really was a superb tackle. Then Rashford hit the far post. So Wan-Bissaka wasn't it off the line. But there's no doubt that Thomas Tuchel said to his players in that hydration break, move the ball quicker, be positive, be brave when you get the ball and go at players.
I assume he might have said that at the start as well.
You can assume that, but they certainly didn't listen to him. They have now stepped up the game. It's about time.
Madueke down under challenge, he stays down, but he'll have to get back up because he hasn't got a free kick. DR Congo have the ball again with the dangerous Penga. Only came in to play against Uzbekistan in the last game, left on the bench in the first 2. Understand if in his head he's thinking, I'll never get another go at this. Whistle just offside. That's going to be a free kick. England have taken it already. Rashford just inviting the challenge now. I think he's earned that. He'd actually touched it too far ahead of himself, but by that point, Mokau was already committed to the contact.
Yeah, Mokau knew exactly what he was doing because Marcus had beaten him. He'd gone in for the tackle. But again, we've seen Madueke on the right be positive and run at the defender. Now it's Rashford's turn. That's what we wanted to see from the start.
Everybody ready for a Rice volley. Might be Declan Rice's first free kick of this season, just gone, and many others. That's got his whistle to his mouth here. Is it going to stop the game? No, he's letting England go. Rice into Bellingham. Madueke. Sakasamoku comes to engage. He does well that time. Sipenga. Is it through for Whistle to chase? He's going to go with it. Whistle. Riley's headed it away, but nobody's back there to help him out. Straight to Wan-Bissaka. He missed it. Konsa headed it. It's clear, sort of. Buku. Off O'Reilly. DR Congo have a corner. Just as you think England are getting a hold of the game and getting back into it, they're then pinned back again.
They're really bright. That's what the England players were shouting to the referee for. Well, they thought he hit his hand, but you're not going to get that. There's nothing they can do about it. No, it's not handball.
And that's why the ref had the whistle. He was listening intently to VAR in his ear. Madueke further out of the danger zone. Here's Wan-Bissaka. Sipenga on the right-hand side.
Well, there were monitoring concerns about England defensively in the previous 3 games, and we've all said that the further you go in the competition, the better the opposition. If they keep on giving the chances away, like they did against Panama, like they did against Ghana, then they'll get punished. And up to now, that's what has happened in this game.
Buku robbed by Rashford. Pickford. Happy with himself with that one. He was underneath it. Sammy loses them to Bellingham. Hands on Bellingham then came from Mokau. Free kick for England. Konsa. Madueke has Spence flying forward. Spence will get there first. Twanzanga will get there with him, and he came back up Spence. It's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, it did. It was a really positive run down the right-hand side again from Spence on the overlap and hoping to get the ball. He gets it, but he's really unlucky. It does clip him. There you go.
Yeah, Axel Twanzebe was an England prospect. Aaron Wan-Bissaka similar. And they are playing out of their skin.
Yeah. They're absolutely everywhere now. In every position.
There's Wissa. Buku, supported by Wan-Bissaka.
It would have been over if this first time. That would have been over. It would have been over if this first time. I thought that was in. I thought that was in the first time.
You summed it up absolutely perfectly.
I thought that
That is
was
a
in.
great ball, and just watch his run. It takes a little
And he just
deflection
dragged
off
it, wasn't
O'Reilly.
it?
But Konsa and Gehi are nowhere. Flat-footed. Wissa was too quick for them. Too bright,
I
too
think it would
alert.
have been over for
And
England
clever
before
run
we
by
stopped them.
England. But the concern would be defensively again.
must get the ball back from the other top.
Looking for Kane. Kane might be in front now off the post. Referee's got his whistle. And he's going to give it the other way. Thomas Tuchel's furious. Harry Kane is a picture of disbelief. Denver's calling for a card for the England captain.
And the keeper comes out, makes his mind up straight away. Once he has done, he's no backtracking for him. And Kane needs to get the touch. And there is contact, there's no doubt. I mean, that for me is a penalty. Harry might make the most of it, but the keeper's come out and his hands are there. And if he's going to come rushing out like that and leave his arms there as a forward, you've got every right to make connection with those hands and go down.
Well, he's taking advice now. The VAR way, as we've seen all tournament, has been minimum interference for maximum benefit. There's a check up on the screen. And the referee says no, you can get on with it. It's not going to go to a review. They've decided to have a look at the screen. No, you got it right. Or not wrong enough for us to get involved.
I thought that was a penalty. Pass, he's made his mind up. He can't go back, he has to connect and he has to go down and dive. And all the forward has to do is get that first touch. And he's got it, Harry Kane. And then you've got every right to go into the goalkeeper. If he's daft enough to come rushing out like that, that for me should have been a penalty.
Thinking back to that nudge from Conte that spun wide of the post, and when your luck's out sort of thing. Well, the luck's in as well, because Wissa just hit the post a moment ago.
Huge moments at both ends. One with a Wissa chance, which you should have put it in the net. Should have been 2-0 and England got away with that. But I do think Congo got away with one straight away at the other end.
Can the Rice get there? He does. He holds off Siddiqui. Now Rashford. Rashford turns this way, that way. One way, no way. Will be collected by Conte for England to start again from their own half. Anderson, Madueke. Tick past 45 minutes in a moment. Madueke's ball in his team. It's really easy for him. Look out and clear. Satanga. Anderson in. DR Congo throw. We are entering a minimum of intervals at 6. 6 minutes added time, so that's 3 for the hydration break and then 3 for the assorted injuries and stoppages. I'll tell you what, Chancellor Mbemba's got a cheek.
Yes, absolutely. Just because you're a centre forward that you don't and shouldn't have to jump over the goalkeeper. He's made the decision, the keeper, to come out. As a forward, when you get in that position, you don't have to jump over the goalkeeper.
Good work there, essential work from O'Reilly. As Conte, here's Madueke. England desperate to get the equalising goal and equaliser before half-time, so they can play one half game after that.
There's been an improvement in forward positions, certainly after the hydration break. You can see that. But the worry is still defensively.
O'Reilly. Blocked out for a throw. It's Siddiqui again. Rice. Conte. Swung in by Madueke. Brilliant save. Bellingham thought he'd scored there, but Utete is unpassable. And an easy catch to follow.
Wow, well, he's certainly been a talking point in passing this first half, hasn't he? Same person again, Bellingham. Same side. Put the left foot in swinger. But it's Bellingham making that run once again, and that is a superb save. Been so good, the keeper. Seems like a run with a penalty, but the saves have been very, very good.
I thought I was going to have to intervene and cut you off there, Alan, but Spence cut off the attack instead.
I saw it coming.
And you did. Why is it every game we've done together has been really enjoyable and then we get injured? And it's borderline unbearable. Here's Rashford. Same at the Euros 2 years ago, wasn't it?
It was. Certainly not easy. They can't make it easy today, England.
And Siddiqui, lovely clever ball back into Moka. Now it's Wissa who's got Sittenga on his own again. Spencer's given him a bit of room. Sittenga. We know he'll keep on going. Still a great touch by Mutasami. 3 minutes of the 6th added have gone. Rice has a ball to Kane, who's got a ball to Madueke if he wants. Nobody in the centre. Rashford's getting there now. Kane. Challenged by Mutasami. Madueke. That's not going to work. Tapped away to Siddiqui. In goes Kane to challenge and win the ball, but it's going to be a DR Congo throw. Siddiqui's doing what Sunderland supporters have seen him do all season. They've adopted the old Chelsea phrase about N'Golo Kante. Saying 70% of the earth is covered by water, the rest is covered by Noah Siddiqui.
I'll leave that one to you with your better knowledge of Sunderland.
He's doing it again, isn't he?
He's been brilliant. He's all over the park, made a couple of vital tackles. And without doubt, he's carried his form on. That's the guy he's been for Sunderland.
There's Buku. Here he is. With a free run, and Sittenga in support, and Wissa on the move in the middle. Sittenga, Spence with a big block. And the flag was up. Spence didn't know that.
Should be offside. He was looking right along the line. Did England a big favour there. There's that ball in from Madueke and the run, and he just tried to flick it, Bellingham, doesn't he? I mean, that is an incredible save from the goalkeeper. It's a great ball in, great header, and he's frustrated. Give him a little hug. A little battle going on there, isn't there? He tried to close him down early on, didn't he, when he said he just missed it by an inch. He's made 2 really good saves off him as well.
He's O'Reilly. Bellingham. Rashford outside. Bellingham only looking the other way. Looking all the way over to Madueke. He's gone for the early cross. It's Wan-Bissaka who got to it. Bellingham. Taking a corner and getting one. It'll be the last action of the half, surely.
Good work from Bellingham. Good work to get out, trying to keep the pressure on. He did something just before the end of the half.
Declan Rice to put the ball into the box. Kane all of his own! Saved again, Van Persie! England are up against a superhero in the Democratic Republic of Congo goal. Doesn't matter what you save it with, keep it out.
Well, once again, England choose to go deep with the corner, and Harry finds himself free. But there's been some major talking points in this first half. And it's another brilliant save from him. It's a good strike from Harry, finds himself with lots of space in there around him, but can't beat the goalkeeper again. But from an England point of view, very, very sloppy to begin with. Offered nothing in that first 20, 25 minutes, but much improved in forward positions at least in that second half.
Harry Kane is still asking about the non-award of a penalty that he thought he should have been awarded. It's not going England's way. It's an exhausting watch. It's England 0, DR Congo 1.
It is not going England's way. They're 1-0 down in Atlanta. They could very easily be level. They could very easily be 2 down. Well, it's been that kind of half, hasn't it?
Yeah, particularly the first 30 minutes. I thought England were very poor, sloppy, giving the ball away no intensity, not getting to the ball, and the Congo looked really comfortable. They had the ball, they were doing what they wanted with it, really. Mostly to get the goal, but from England's point of view, I just think it was poor, and they just didn't look like they had any energy about them.
I don't understand what they're trying to do. I'm really confused on what they're trying to do with England. Especially we mentioned the Croatia, going back to Croatia game, when they went really deep and they conceded that goal, and you're thinking, okay, it changed a little bit. They wanted to go a bit further up the field, but it's so easy for DR Congo to play through the lines. There's no press, there's no communication, there's no organisation. It's really frustrating watching England play like this because they've got so much more to offer.
That's what I was going to say to you, Joe, following on from that. Even when they've created chances in that last 10, 15 minutes, there's still a vulnerability about them when DR Congo have the ball.
You can feel the tension building, and understandably we've been there, in the England tournament when it's not playing well, you can see people just playing a little bit out of position, a little bit within themselves. But DR Congo looks so comfortable, as Micah said. They're playing with freedom, they're expressing themselves, they believe when they get on the counter-attack, and when they get in that final third. England are really, really up against it. A few glimpses, could be level, no getting away from it. We're never going to be too down on England. They could be level. Goalkeepers made some incredible saves, but DR Congo is certainly feeling comfortable at half time.
It's almost like they turned up just expecting to win the game. I think they thought it was going to be like the Ghana game where everyone sat in that notebook. Yes, there's elements of doing that, but they take chances, they take more risks. Yeah. And for the goal, which Wayne's going to talk us through now, everything is just too easy.
Go on then, talk us through.
Yeah, well, I just think if you look here, John mentioned Elliot Hans before the game, maybe trying to do too much and being too honest. So here, he goes with the runner, and then that allows Wissett to get in this little pocket here. So nothing comes with from this point of view, but we're in a good shape here. We're fine. We're again not getting to the ball, not making it difficult, not winning tackles. Now the ball comes out. Now you need to see intensity. You need to get to the ball. You need to push up the pitch, which we don't. We allow Congo to do whatever they want with the ball, push us back into that low block, which we spoke about the opposition. And then for Gay and Konza, I think this is really poor judgment from the two of them. They both come way too far. It means if you look at both beyond the post, it means Jed Spence has to come in and cover, and then it's a really good touch and a good finish. So I just think there was so many little elements in this phase of play where England were just off it.
Because the easy thing is to focus on Jed Spence there, isn't it? But you have the central defenders all shuffle over.
They go too early, they go too soon, and they go too far. And then it gives Jed Spence no option but to cover. And I know Jed Spence had a little bit of stick from each game, but he's got no option but to cover that space. And then it's a good touch and good finish.
Well, that's just communication, as it were. Yeah. We said before the game, you've got to communicate, whether that comes from the keeper, the centre halves in the field. It was too slow when they were jumping, and it was just too easy to stall that goal.
Look at it from Pickford's point of view, that goal then.
Yeah, of course, and I think everyone will be asking at home, and they've better be right. So much has gone on before it for John to even be in this position, but he's got a good angle. Spenga strikes it well, but this next angle that I'm going to give you is just going to show you the fractions of this World Cup. Body weight slightly leaning left. Now he's saying, come and beat me in this area. I feel confident, I've got a good angle, I'm set. Oh, as we roll it on, just going to roll it on here. You can see he's slightly leaning left. Spenga drags it to Jordan Pickford's right. That's when his body weight isn't great. So what he's got to do now is rip that right leg out from underneath him and push with the outside left leg. But there's no getting away from it. His power is not to his right. And there, that's how you can tell, because as he reaches down with his right hand, he's got no power in the touch. That's why the ball smashes his hand away. He almost has to jam it, not tip it round the corner, and it goes through. It's not a mistake, it's just a difficult moment.
Because to be fair, if you're highlighting the body weight, so many times in modern football now, we've seen it many times this World Cup, when people cut in from the right, they're going to bend it in the far corner. So if you go near post, you're going to catch a goalkeeper well, not unawares, but slightly off balance, are you?
Maybe, Chappers, but I'd say that when you get into that position and you set with Spenga about to strike, you know full well that you're strong. You've not got far to go to your right. You're set, you've not got far to go to your left with the angle, so you need to be nice, as balanced as you can be in-game in the chaos. And like I say, his body weight's just slightly to his left, and as he rips it back to his right, he's not got the power or the time to get his hand on it. And they're the tiny little fractions that decide games like this.
I'd just say from the forwards point of view, we always try and look at the goalkeepers, saying the goalkeepers looking forward, but from that instance, I think the ball is underneath his feet a little bit, so I think if Jordan could read that a little bit quicker, that the ball, he strikes it with his laces. Yeah. So if he's going side foot, you think he'd go far post, but if he's going with laces, I think he's probably going to only a post.
I think you guys have kind of a difference of opinion over the possible penalty, don't you? Do you want to start, Micah?
He touches him. The goalkeeper definitely does touch him. I mean, if I was a striker, I would definitely want it. I can understand why it wasn't overturned, but I just think he touches him. So I want that as a penalty. I want that as a penalty.
My heart here, as soon as I miss that ball and I feel Harry Kane's contact, I'm getting ready. If I've got it written on my water bottle, I'm working out where Harry Kane's next penalty is going to be. So he will be absolutely delighted when he looks up and sees the referee not giving this, because I would expect that to be given against him.
I'm off the forwards, but I just think he trips himself a little bit and then he jumps into the goalkeeper a little bit. He can get to this contact, but I just think just by that little tip of himself and jumping into him with 2 feet a little bit, I think it's probably the right.
Do you think that final angle, is that the one for you where you just sort of see it looks like he clips his own feet before the goalkeeper touches him? Is that what you're looking at?
He stumps his toe into the ground here on his right foot, you see there, and then he jumps into the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper, he's rushed out, he's left himself in a position where the referee could give the penalty, but I just think it looks like he's dived into him, so I think it's probably not a penalty.
Okay, he actually kicks the ground as well, doesn't he? Slightly before the goalkeeper contact. Okay, let's get the view of the England camp. Here's Thomas Tuchel's coach, Anthony Barry.
Well, Anthony, as it stands, England are heading out of the World Cup. How do you turn this around?
We still have 45 minutes to play. Obviously, to concede an early goal to a team that plays in this style of football, it's never a good thing. It can normally carry you into a state of shock. But actually, I think it's something that's released our guys. It's took the handbrake off. From there, we played a high-level game. We've created many, many, many chances. Maybe the goalkeeper, the man of the match so far. And of course, for us now, it's absolutely not a time to panic. We have 45 minutes left to play. We've had a lot of chances in the first half, and it's just about continuing to play in our way, in our rhythm. Not a time to play Congo football. Just to continue to attack, keep the back door shut, and we'll come back into the game.
They've had lots of chances. Interestingly, Michael, just on the stats, 0 shots and touches in the box for England before the hydration break. 8 shots and 20 touches since.
Yeah, I think as the half grew on, they've got more confidence. They sort of realises the game they have to win. But you still want a little bit more from them, still the chances, especially on that right-hand side. I want a little bit more from them. You know, there's so much space in the wide areas. This is a wonderful ball from Rice, and Melligan can't really get the right purchase on it. But you're just thinking, where was this at the start of the game? You see another one here from Kane, Joe?
Yeah, he looks, like we say before the game, I think it'll be the same. I can hear what Anthony Barry's saying there. I think we're going to get similar till the hydration break. I think we'll be a little bit more conservative. That's not going to make the people at home happy. But they were just coming into it after it when he said they took the handbrake off. This is another good block here. DR Congo are putting their bodies on the line. They defended brilliantly. But you just feel like Bellingham's going to have that moment. Yes, it's a top save though. Sorry to go over your words, but just the importance of this save is not just the save, it's how he gets it away from Marcus Rashford. He's having a brilliant half.
I think Bellingham is making some really good runs. My big worry is what anybody just said there. I think is exactly right. But Congo look a real threat. Now they've got something to defend. I think England's organisation when they're attacking has been very poor. I think the midfield has been a little bit all over the place. The 2 centre-backs are playing with no confidence. So I'd have a big concern if England, don't get that goal quite early. I think they're in danger of going 2-0 down.
Okay, well, there's plenty more England on iPod.
Dear England, what I want to speak about is much bigger than football.
The real tragedy of being afraid, it's what it takes.
Gareth, do you think you're up to this?
Keep believing. Right up until the final whistle. Come on, England! Come on!
A new England that comes from behind the fight.
Dear England, watch all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
Next up, USA against Bosnia tonight here on BBC One and iPlayer at 10-1. England, South Africa in the semi-final of the T20 Women's World Cup from 6:15 tomorrow on Sounds. Download the Football Daily podcast. Also on Sounds, you've got the Golden Generation doc on iPlayer, and one of them has even got his own show.
to the Dream Team. Your top tier squad.
Bang my first gateway
Of Comedy All-Stars.
Let's go! It's coming home!
Oh gosh, they're massively overusing that phrase now.
I am. I'm nervous.
Here's what surprised coming.
I'm the disc jockey.
This World Cup selects your Comedy Dream Team on BBC iPlayer.
Second half on the way. Let's head back to Atlanta. We'll get a word with Alan Shearer first of all. How disappointed have you been with that performance?
Yeah, before the hydration break, it was not acceptable. It was really poor. Interesting listening to Anthony Barry saying after that we took the handbrake off. I want to know why the handbrake was on. You've got to start this game really bright. Why on earth would you go into the game and think slow and sideward passing again? We've seen too much of that already in the World Cup. Why did it take after the hydration break to get us going into action? That's the question that I would ask.
Do you think they still look slightly off it when DR Congo have the ball? As I was saying to the guys in the studio, there's still a vulnerability about them when DR Congo break.
Yeah, they look really poor defensively, look really edgy. There's a nervousness about them. The ball's gone into the box. Wish I should have put it in the net and been 2-0 up. They got away with it. But there's too much space in midfield. There's too much space at the back when DR Congo get the ball. On the brighter note, England have looked better in forward positions. At least after the hydration break, we were starting to ask questions in and around the 18-yard box, because up until then, we'd offered nothing.
But they have to start that second half with the same intensity, don't they?
Absolutely. That has to be the message. The intensity has to be ramped up a gear or two. You can't afford to start this second half like they started the first half, because otherwise they'll find themselves packing the bags later on tonight if nothing improves.
All right, Alan, for the time being, thank you very much. Let's just look at the penalty incident with Harry Kane. Again, Darren Campbell, assistant referee, with us. Do you agree that VAR didn't need to intervene, or should it have intervened? How does this work?
This is so difficult, chappers, because we've got 4 of us here. 2 think it's a penalty, 2 think it's not a penalty, and therefore it's not clear and obvious in terms of the VAR. From this angle, I think it does look a penalty, and live play looks a penalty. There's a small touch on Harry Kane's ankle there by the goalkeeper, as Joe says he would be expecting to give away a penalty. This is the referee's angle, and you can see Harry Kane puts his 2 feet together, he stumbles. It doesn't look as much of a penalty from this angle, and therein lies the difference. But for me, I think that's a penalty.
If that had been given on field, they wouldn't have overturned.
Absolutely, yeah. The referee's decision would stand. Had he given a penalty, then the Qatari VAR would not have intervened.
Okay, why are you shaking your head?
No, I'm saying I agree.
I
think it was one of those where they've literally gone with the referee's decision, and with you, Darren, 100%.
It does fit in. It does fit in with the officiating of this tournament and the VARing, if that's a verb. This tournament.
Yes, it does. Yes.
I don't know what you're laughing at, Mikey. You went underturned. You went underturned 5 minutes ago, so let's not forget that.
It is consistent with the refereeing. We've had 11 penalties this tournament. I think that should have been a 12th penalty.
It doesn't look like there are changes very quickly, Wayne, does it? You'd expect some, though, wouldn't you see, if it stays like that?
Yeah, well, he's given the players an opportunity to go and redeem certainly the first 30 minutes in that half, and I think the first 5 minutes are really important in this half. In England need to go at Congo, but as I go back to what Andy Barry said, you can't lose the game in the first 5 minutes. You have to move the ball quicker, try and get opportunities, but it's really important that they close the back door.
So don't chase it?
Yeah, not at this stage, still a lot of time.
100%. They've got to believe in what they're doing. They can't just throw everything out the window now because they're 1 goal down. They'll believe that they can get back into this game, and they know if they do get an equalising goal, they'll trust themselves to go on and win it.
This is where you need big game players. I'm looking at Kane and Bellingham to make the difference in the second half.
There's a 1 goal deficit to underturn. Let's go back to Alan and Guy.
Thank you, Mark. Jude Bellingham still in conversation about the penalty that wasn't. And there on your screen is the QR code again. You know the drill by now. Scan that. Take your TV licence. Don't even have to move. It'll do. And sharpish in the next 45 minutes. Can I just cast your mind back, Alan, to 2 years ago? Well, we were together watching England play Slovakia at the European Championships. 1-0 down at half-time. Not much did change for a while until Jude Bellingham popped up in the 19th minute and then England won it in extra time.
Well, it's not often Micah talks sense, but he did then when he says the big players have got to step up now. We've seen Bellingham do it. We've seen Kane do it. The others need to chip in and show a little bit more as well. Only joking, Micah, by the way.
It's half joking, Micah, by the way. DR Congo then to get the second half started in a position that at the start of the tournament, maybe not after what they did against Uzbekistan and how they grew into the group stage, but at the start of the tournament this would have been beyond their wildest dreams. Now it's a distinct possibility for them. I'm just thinking, if England can't turn this round, does this eclipse Iceland in 2016, USA in 1950?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Nice things then for England.
45 minutes, 50 minutes to save themselves and the manager and give these fans something to shout about. Big improvements needed.
They've only ever lost once to African opposition in 23 previous games. That was just over a year ago to Senegal in a friendly. Congo are attacking again right from the start here. Pulled back. Anderson is in the right place to get it away before Siddiqui arrives. Kane then goes down under challenge from Mujasami.
Slightly concerned again though how much space they've got down the right hand side. How they're able to get into that position.
I heard Anthony Barry say keep the back door closed. I think it's been a char all tournament. Somebody dropped the latch. Bolting.
These are the players that he picked. Got to get him out of the mire now. Got to respond to his half-time team talk. Because they're in big trouble. Got to find a way.
Starts with the throw to Concert. Now Gay. Rice. Gay. And working. The in-swinging ball. Sipanga. It's Anderson who climbs to win it. Swaku return against Anderson. Anderson won't leave him alone though, and he has help from Madwicki. Support from Bellingham if he can get there, and he's stopped from doing so by Tuanzebe.
There's a poor ball from Anderson. They do well and winning the ball back from Masuaku from there, and then you're just looking for that little bit of quality. You can see Bellingham going around him. Too much.
It's a sign of a problem for Noni Madwicki. Thought about going down. Decided he didn't have to, but he's not exactly moving well. They did have quite a few subs passing the ball around on the pitch to the latter end of the half-time break. Ollie Watkins was out longer than all of the others. Here's Rice. O'Reilly. Rashford. Wisaka comes across now. Rashford to O'Reilly. Corner for England.
Well, the England half with a good corner, didn't they? England and Harry Kane making that, forcing the save from a passing.
World Cup in Russia in 2018, it was all about the bus stop queue. A little different now, there are a few more variations for England. He's getting himself ready for France under 19. It's delivered deep again, just popped behind for another corner, away from Bellingham. It's Masuaku who did the defending.
Again, they go deep. Good defender, Masuaku. You can see Bellingham just coming around the back of him. He has to get something on it. Again, they decide to go deep though, England.
watches on. Rice flies it over, and the whistle goes before Fancy comes flying out. He's saying take the corner again. Bemba getting a very strict talking to. He warned them before. Show them yellow for me. I'm not allowed to record. That's what he's saying to the ref. It's nice to go again. They will go again. A bit different from Rice, that didn't work out. The Congo have a way out. Rice is there though in front of Mutasami. And working. Spence had to adjust, and he was caught by the tackle. Advantage with the Congo though. Buku. Cannons of Gay. Probably a good job. That might have been bad for Wan-Bissaka down the right. Now England down the left. Rashford having a run and taking it all on, but hitting the side of the goal. He couldn't do for the angle what Sittenga did early on in the game.
It's a good opportunity. It really is. He did ever so well to go on the outside. It was a crunching tackle we're seeing first. But Rashford, 1v1, he's got the player, defender where he wants him. He's got him in the box and he chooses to go onto his left foot. He's got to hit the target. That's a poor miss. It's lacking the quality in front of goal. It's a good opportunity, that is. The Congo throw. Took his chance cutting in the first game against Croatia really well. This was probably a better chance, so it's not under pressure at all. He's got a free shot. There's no challenge coming in. And he has plenty of time. Rashford's gone away to the left again. Rice is looking down the middle for Bellingham. Trapped by He didn't have sufficient spin to go in. The field's going to have to be something very, very special to get past that goalkeeper. Here's Madueke. That's not special. What a game he's having. Bellingham brilliant again, goes down the outside, takes the deflection this time, and that's gone in. And again his balance and his ability to get back. Really keep that out. Oh, he had his head taken off by teammate Bemba. Look at this. Oh, taking no chances and no shouldn't he. That's a game he's having. He's up there with Bozinha in the Spain 0, Cape Verde 0 at the start of it all. Player who went up from the 4th tier in France to the 2nd with Rodé. Only left to join Le Havre. He's not even first choice with his French club. He's back up to Senegal's Maurice Diallo. As Madueke puts it in, and Rashford got the climb but couldn't get over the ball as well. Tough one to get hold of that one. Running at that pace, and the ball at that height. A little knock as well, I think.
Determination to get there.
As I say it again, Parsi, great agility to get that strong right arm on it.
There's some older England supporters casting their mind back to the early 70s and the game against Poland at Wembley. Jan Tomaszewski, the late great Warwick Clough, famously labelled a clown in goal. He was the only one laughing after that game. Hang up. kick. When do we start to clock watch as well as game watch?
Well, I'm also looking at substitute watch, because I imagine it gives them another 5 minutes or so. If nothing changes, he will make some. He's going to have to.
Okay. Rashford. O'Reilly was on the move into an attacking place. Towards Madweke. Spence if he wants it. Anderson. Back with Madweke. Back with Spence. And followed by Sipanga. And badgered by Sipanga, who's done really well with assistance from Masuaku. Masuaku plays it off Spence and gets a goal kick for DR Congo. Masuaku, who couldn't get a game at Sunderland, went back on loan to Lens, close to his northern France homeland, or roots rather. And he's having a game, and then there's Twanzebe relegated with Burnley, Wan-Bissaka relegated with West Ham. Bemba, who was relegated with Newcastle way back. Oof. O'Reilly. Anderson. Madweke. 2 to beat now. Spence. O'Reilly. Rice was up for the return. Here he is. Bellingham. To Sami. All over it. Bellingham across to Spence. Madweke.
He's got it in the box.
An easy clearance.
It's okay if passing the ball around and being patient, but at some point someone's got to go past someone. Someone's got to produce something special.
Rashford has wasted that opportunity.
Go from right, pass, pass, over to the left. You go pass, pass, come back to the right hand side. At some point someone has to be brave and have the courage to go past the player.
No, we haven't got
Wilson.
the ball.
Swinging in the head of Keynes. Comes to Twanzebe.
You've got the ball, so we need to put it back.
Out for an England throw-in. There's Anderson. There's Rice. O'Reilly. Gagey. Madweke. We've seen this route so many times. To go inside again and use Spence again.
Well, that ball has to be rolled back so Spence can whip it in. Can't roll that ball back with too much pace. He has to take a touch on it.
Anderson's lost it now. Sipanga. That is good use of the ball. Held it up, waited for help. To Sami to Siddiqui. Wissa now. Siddiqui was caught late by Anderson. The referee's happy to let the game go. Kane. Trying to find a way through to Rashford. Probably justice served for DR Congo there.
Probably a foul, wasn't it?
That is a foul.
Absolutely, it was a foul. I do get that feeling when I talk about someone producing something special. It's going to be Jude Bellingham, because he's the one that's burst into the box a couple of times in the first half. Then he went past the defender and forced Pazzic to another save.
Siddiqui was too sharp for Spence there. Here's Sipanga again. It's come back to him. Sipanga. Masuaku didn't hesitate to swing the ball in. But to Sami. Sitagi.
You're on about when you're on about Masuaku not hesitating to whip the ball, and he did that because the ball, it comes back at him at the right pace. He's able to do that.
We're going to have an England change, and Bukayo Saka is going to replace Noni Madueke in a straight swap down the right. It's going to be a straight swap down the left as well. Anthony Gordon coming on for Marcus Rashford. So everything you said has come to pass, Alan. Needs to be better from wide positions.
Yeah, he's been searching for that the whole tournament, and up to now the players that he's put in there haven't been good enough, and he's had to substitute them. He had to change them around constantly, and it's for that reason they haven't offered enough. Now the other two get a chance. Let's see what they've got.
There's the first touch for Gordon. O'Reilly in the air from Mutasami. Rice. Demba heads out. Look at the room that Congo have now. Gordon's got to go back. And he does. Frustration and the call for patience is turning to pure livid anger. Jed Spence cop for all of that. Here's Sitagi. Sitagi stopped by Spence. Mutasami.
Need the ball back, please. He said it's telling me.
Sadiki. Sadiki shot straight against Anderson. Masuaku. Buku. Riley stops the cross at the cost of a corner. Well, any suggestion that Congo 1-0 would think, right, we hold this now and we sit back. Absolute rubbish. They are still trying to play expensive attacking football.
Well, that's what England have to be careful of. They're going in search of the equaliser, but they know that they're going to have to take risks pretty soon. They've got the ability to hurt them on the counter-attack.
There's plenty of time and room here. And it's not a bad try. Took an inflection. Nathaniel Mpuku let him fly. Was it on target before the deflection? It might well have been. It's Elliot Anderson.
Well, that's concerning again, that they can take a short corner and no one's going in to close him down. He's got the time and the space to pick his shot.
That was top corner bound. Yeah. I think he sums up the feelings of many. Deep to the back, Rice, a bit of intervening. Saka loses out to Mutasami. And England have the throw. 18 second half minutes played. Change to be made by Sebastian Desav. And Buku, well, he leaves again with a flourish after that effort on goal. He's going to be replaced by Meshak Ilea. He's a much more experienced player than he is a real threat. He's at the top level in Turkey with Alanya Sport. Many years at Young Boys in Switzerland, regular European participants. There's Anderson to Konsa. Konsa to O'Reilly. Gordon. New challenge for Wan-Bissaka. Gordon now of Barcelona. Spence. Kane unable to challenge for the ball. Just thrown off balance by Denver again, who's winning the duel with the England captain. And here goes Ilea. O'Reilly goes with him. That all looked pretty fair to me, 50-50, but the final push and pull goes in England's favour.
That was a good race, wasn't it? Welcome to the game.
fans are trying to do their bit. Trying to give them a little bit of life, a little bit of encouragement. Boy, do they need it. Gordon. Denver climbs as high as he could. O'Reilly. Anderson. Spence. Saka. First time he's had a chance to attack. Didn't last long. Spence has done well. Spence holds up the challenge but pulls it across to nobody in wide. Wissa. Sapinga again. Really clever in his use of body and ball together. Wissa's gone as well for a free kick for the Congo. Stop Wissa going down the line. Play block from Conso. See that from up here due to the way the stands are here. Any yellow card for that? I don't think he did. We can't see the touchline actually from here. So we can't see what the next substitutions will be until they happen. The hydration break will come before there are any further changes. England needed it first half. Do they need it here?
Yeah, they need more urgency, need more belief. Somehow someone's going to have to rescue them. Because up to now, what we've seen hasn't been anywhere near good enough. Trouble passing once for that Bellingham deflected shot. Continued to get into wide areas, but as yet haven't found the quality. Underlined with a full stop. Speaking of quality, highlight from Bukayo Saka. There's the call from the referee saying 3 minutes. That's the break. Imagine QR code on screen now. I don't want to say this. You can scan it, have your say, and who stood out for you with BBC Sports Player Rater. Well, there's a player who has Lionel and passing. 10 out of 10 for him. Not sure about some others. Let's get the views of Wayne Rooney. Wayne, what do you think at this point?
Yeah, I just think England's really lacking any sort of urgency and intensity, and we're playing too slow. We're playing across the midfield from side to side, and not really looking threat at the minute. And DR Congo are looking more and more of a threat when they win the ball back. So I just think it's in desperate need of some changes. I'd like to see Ivan Toney or Ollie Watkins come on and play alongside Harry Kane in front, and us just to have a little bit more belief in what we're doing, because if not, the game will fade away from us.
What would be your response to that?
Yeah, I would agree. We keep on trying the same thing, and at the minute it's not working, so why not try something different? Put another body up there into the box to give us a bit more presence in the box, because that's what we're lacking. I keep hearing the players talk about the belief that we'll get better and the coaching staff with this, that and the other. You've got 20 odd minutes to prove it. Because up to now it hasn't been good enough, and you're going out. Let's see what you've got, let's see what you're made of. Talk is cheap, you've got to go out and prove it now.
England have not come from behind to win a World Cup knockout game since the 1966 final, would you believe? That doesn't bode well. Maybe Slovakia from 2 years ago does bode well, but that's clutching at straws from an England point of view. Here's what's coming later. The United States will then fly, and they're facing Bosnia-Herzegovina. 10 to 1 in the morning, the coverage begins. Kick-off 10 minutes later on BBC One and iPlayer. That's coming up later on. And then tomorrow from 7:30 on BBC One and iPlayer, Spain, one of the favourites, against Austria. And then we get to see Portugal against Croatia. And that all starts at 11:30 again on BBC One and on iPlayer. So Paul Nurse and come away from the huddle applauding the words of their coach, revving each other up.
Deeds, not words now. No, and he's shown the energy. That's exactly what he's trying to say to his players. Lads, you're going home tonight. Step up. Unless you do, you're packing your bags. You need energy, you need drive.
There's a change being made there. Jed Spence has gone off. Eberechi Eze has come on. Well, that's off the story. More needed higher up the field. Somewhere in Kinshasa, plans will be being drawn up already for a statue of Sebastien Desabre. Declan Rice has gone into the right back position. What a job that man has done. Guided them to the last two Africa Cup of Nations tournaments, including reaching the semi-finals in 2024. We're down at the last 16 in the one that was played at the start of this year. They're on the verge of the last 16 of the World Cup in the nation's only second ever appearance at it. First since 1974. And the most famous result in their history. Quite possibly England's, unless it changes.
Desperation stakes now for England.
Rice. Kane prevented from delivering. By Twanzebe. Saka does get a good ball in. Gordon went for it. Wan-Bissaka jumps with it. England have a corner.
Wan-Bissaka had to jump with it. Gordon's there. I'm sure he knows a much about it. But another corner. Rice trudges from right back position. Right over the far side to take the corner.
Imagine there's some Burnley supporters rather open mouth watching Axel Twanzebe and what he's doing in this game. Magnificent. An injury hit season with the Clarets. And it comes from Rice. Konsa was the one trying it. Onto it at the back. Eze. It's been pulled down. That's it, that'll be a free kick. Rice is taking this one. He's come an awful long way once again.
Yes, he's coming all the way from the other side again. Imagine the backlash if this doesn't work out. But him playing the right back position is going to produce something special, because the talk about right backs and who we brought in.
And it comes from Rice. That will be, well, it is a big talking point whatever happens. Bellingham. Maybe something with that side of the field, because he's there now.
Well, you think the frustration of the moment and groans in the crowd now. They're starting to feel it, they're starting to get edgy. But again, the lack of quality in wide positions, the opportunity to put the ball in too much on it.
Goal scorer, Brian Sipanga, is going to go off.
Shift he's put in.
Comes up towards Elia. Kept away from the ball by Gady. O'Reilly.
Come on.
Gordon.
Come on, it's about football, come on.
Konsa.
Come on.
Saka. Eze. Ball in for Rice. Rice. Forward to the back. Here's Gordon. Bellingham's got a bit of room. He hasn't now. Gordon in looking for Kane. Tears of utter relief in the stands. There was only ever going to be one of two men in England colours to rescue this. The captain's dug them out of another huge hole. The service from Gordon has been sadly lacking from many an England player in this match so far, but that was spot on. And that was one that Mpasi couldn't keep out.
just need one line.
Just watch his movement. His movement is brilliant. Troyeston makes the first move down the right. No one gets on the end of that, and then Gordon picks it up. He clips it back in the hope that someone's going to get on the end of it. And that man is Harry Kane again. Goal number 12 in World Cups for him. Puts him level with Pele. What time to do it for him and his team.
Now it's a double DR Congo change. Galliel Mukau is going off. Brian Sipanga has already gone off. Theo Bongonda comes on. And the other change sees Edu Kayembe, Watford take the field for what remains. 1-1 in Atlanta.
Just one more.
What do we all think about hydration breaks now?
Well, the team's been spoiled. We've seen Thomas Tuchel trying to somehow get some energy and belief into his players. That was just at the right time. Just when your country needs you. How many times has he done it, Harry Kane?
Will it change the game in its entirety? England will now look for a winner. DR Congo players look as though they've had their stuffing knocked right out of them. Should they rise again? As Konsa looks for Gordon. He's had the impact that Tuchel wanted him to make. And he's got it again from Bellingham. Can't get past that posse of defenders though. And that's Bongonda. And Pickford has watched it and read it and dealt with it.
Well, goals change games. How much is it going to change this one from an England point of view? How much belief are they going to take from this? How much are they going to push on to try and get the winner within the 90?
This is the day on which Harry Kane goes level with Billy Wright and Bobby Moore. As regards most games starting as England captain. 90 games. Wouldn't have been a day to go out. Bongonda's after that. Here's Anderson. Bellingham. Saka. Saka with another really good delivery. Gordon waiting for it. Wan-Bissaka getting rid of it. Kane. Anderson. Too high. Just kissed the roof of the net on its way over.
You can see by Harry Kane's body shape that he wanted to take it with the left and try and hit it with the right foot. It wasn't on, and then he just rolls it into the path of Anderson for him to try and do it.
If there were any wind in this vast arena, it would seem to be with England now. Maybe not. Kayembe. Support from Elia. Rice stays in his way. England's to jump back in the tour. Saka.
Let's get it back. Come on, get it on.
Kayembe. Swaku. Elia. Met by Saka.
As good as the goalkeeper and pass has been, you know, I think he could have done better with that one.
Close to it.
Yeah, he was close to it. Gave his hand. You would expect him to save it.
Wan-Bissaka, look how high the field is, and having just conceded for 1-1, it might actually catch the Congo out. Because here's Gordon. Gordon to take on Bemba. Not very convincingly. answer. We had to improvise. Fall on the ball practically. Now Declan Rice. Saka. Rice. Chases. He's going to settle for the throw. That's the ball I want about when the ball's rolled back with enough pace on it, and you've just invited the cross. They can make exactly that from Saka and Rice, and that's where the understanding comes from. Anderson. Bellingham. Jude Bellingham trying to time it just right. O'Reilly didn't know where it was. Anderson. Gordon. Well, that's another one away. How many times you said that today? Leo turned up on his first day at Newcastle. In a full tuxedo and bow tie, didn't he? Gordon bundled over. So he goes on with Ezri Konsa now. Saka. Rice. Eze. Saka. Has to be good. It's too high for Bellingham. O'Reilly challenged. Look at this now for Witser. It had to be everything you could get on that from Ezri Konsa.
Tough ball to control from Witser. Done some running this afternoon and chasing and trying to put in pressure.
Doesn't quite get it right for Bellingham.
They're not sitting back, DL Congo, are they? Trying to get men forward as quick as possible when they've got the ball.
Which is Sammy. Heavy to Bemba. Uganda. Kayembe. Over towards Ilya. To take on Declan Rice, perhaps. Thinking about it. Towards Evie. Bemba. Rice. Anybody to give it to. Not in an attacking place. Now it's Anderson. Saka. Saka pass one. Still got quite a bit to do. Saka does it. Now it's Anderson. Here's Gay.
Come on, just one more goal.
Bellingham. Bellingham, O'Reilly staying up as much as he can now. Anderson's got to watch this very, very carefully. Back comes Konsa. Anderson through to Harry Kane. Eze on his inside. Kane stopped by Axel Tuanzebe, who has had a game. Been brilliant.
Yeah, one to the bend inside there with the left.
Anderson. Gordon, well, attacking those not really his skill set.
Not at that pace or height. Got no chance to deal with that one.
Not quite for Carmine, surely. One of those. So did you.
Correct.
It's Sadiki. Sullivan ball. It's comfortably defended by Gay. I say comfortably. It's come back again to Ilya, who's on target.
Finding little pockets of space in there, aren't they? In front of that back four.
so many men committing forward now for England that they have to be careful in the last few minutes if they're going to do that and not leave that door open. Anderson. He's going to drive on and try and win this game before extra time. Well, it's Jude Bellingham trying to do that for England. Bellingham stopped by Patsy. Gordon takes out the mantle. Kane. Kane could get a shot in.
Yes.
Oh, yes! England have never needed their captain more.
That was a good goal, that.
That was a rocket. The strength of a killer marksman. You give him half a yard, and there's every chance he's going to do exactly what he has just done. He's got no right to shoot from there. He wants to work it onto the right foot. But the power and the direction he gets on it, he goes away from 3 defenders in there. And the keeper, who's been brilliant most of the afternoon, has absolutely no chance as that goes into the roof of the net. When your country needs you, he has the answer. Harry Kane makes it England 2, the Democratic Republic of Congo 1. He's just scored his 13th World Cup Finals goal. He gets the approval of another former captain. He's gone past Pele. He's got level with Just Fontaine. Just fantastic.
Well, we asked the question, which of the big hitters is going to stand up and save England? There's the answer.
2.5 minutes of the 90 to go. A little bit earlier on in the piece, but it is Slovakia from Germany 2 years ago, all over again.
Incredible. What a centre forward he is.
It's not over yet. Here's Muchasemi. There's Gordon, who's had a heck of a difference. Made a heck of a difference. There's Gahey. Anderson.
Eze.
Anthony Gordon again, and Bellingham's on the move. Not going to get to that one, though.
Well, it was his run that went through that got us into that position in the first place. And we haven't had enough of that.
Two more DR Congo changes. Younis Kayembe played actually twice for Belgium early on in his career in friendlies. He's coming on. And Fiston Mayele, who made it 2-1 against Uzbekistan in their last game on this pitch, he's come on as well. It was a really sharp finish. They needed to do it again. Twanzebe. That's Gay. Here's Declan Rice. Left it away to Gordon. Bellingham nearly caught, but Gordon's helped him out. Now Anderson. Kane, Anderson. Foul once the ball had gone.
Keep ball for England. Try and keep hold of that ball as hard as it is.
Bellingham. Kane. Kane's had a look. Had he done that 5 minutes ago, would have been cursing him.
Why not? Why shouldn't he have a shot there? Talk about Mbappe for France, Messi for Argentina. Well, that big lad has just stood up for England.
when we needed him most. And at this tournament, he's gone level with Erling Haaland for goals. 5. One behind Messi and Mbappe. Messi has a game in hand. He's on 10 before the week's out. Uganda stopped by foul means free kick for DR Congo. We moved into 6 more minutes. 6 more minutes to sweat it out for those of you back at home supporting England.
I'm just stood here.
More importantly for those on the field in an England shirt. Declan Rice is cramping up. I think he wants to go off. Yeah, they're going to make the change. They want fit bodies on the field for what remains. John Stones is going to come on for Declan Rice. Move back to right back in emergency measures towards the end, and he did really well there.
They played his part in getting forward on the right-hand side to try and put the ball into the box, and then Gordon picked it up at the other end, and that's where the goal came from.
And this is where everybody has to be switched on. This is dangerous. That's Elia. Stopped by Bellingham. Member. Steps Anderson. Pickford will watch that one go.
He just catches it pure. He absolutely middles it. Roof of the net. Keeper hasn't got a clue. He's just stood. The power that he gets, the direction that he gets, magnificent.
Elia to give chase. Concert to try and chase with him. Concert didn't get his tackle right. And the referee actually is going to stop the game and give a free kick to England for the challenge that followed in the box. The DR Congo players are saying, what about the one we should have had out wide?
2 players down injured, I think.
Notice Kayembe in the penalty area. He's the player who's had the decision go against him. This was it. He just kicked Gay before he got the ball.
This will suit England though.
Dreams being dashed for now for DR Congo supporters. As Kane is held, and there was no release from Axel Tuanzebe. Free kick England. Just how has he fallen on him? That's the question we need to ask now.
He's fine. Never tire of seeing that Harry Kane goal. Classic, brilliant, incredible centre forward play. The touch. How he works it onto his right foot into the space where no other thought. The twist, turn, swivel, bang. Too late, keeper can't react. We did the same.
Here's Concert. Anderson. Anderson's trying to win a corner, or just keep it in the corner. In the end, it will be a DR Congo throw-in. Still over 2 minutes to play. Bongonda. Riley was with him. Here's Tuanzebe. Siddiqui now operating at left back. Member. He's going low. He's seen the run of Elia here. Konsa heads out. Saka has to make sure with the next bit. Just got to it first to win a throw-in.
Win for England. An incredible effort from DR Congo, really is. They were everything at England.
They have made history. First goals at a World Cup. First win at a World Cup. They'll be back. Here's Kayembe. He'll soon be back at Watford for pre-season. Wissa. Wissa keeps it. Bellingham leads into it. Free kick. Bellingham stopped him at all costs, though.
Yeah, brilliant from Wissa. He knows what he's got to do. He knows what he's got to get in front of Bellingham in the hope he forces the foul, and he did. He's looking for it, but it is a foul in a dangerous position.
Just possibly Bellingham fortunate not to get a second yellow card. It will certainly have been in the referee's mind for a moment. Just a foul, but did he stop a promising attack? Never mind, it's not been given. But England have to mind this, because their win pretty much rests on this. And it will be Johan Wissa, the star man, the player with the most Premier League top-flight pedigree on the DR Congo team, who's had a terrific tournament and he wants it to continue. We know he's capable. Hopes of the nation rest on this. Need to wait even longer. Johan Wissa has got himself set. Jordan Pickford is peering through the crowd of players in front of him. Wissa wasn't bad. Was just too high. It had to be perfect.
Very, very difficult one to get up and down from there. Tries to go on the keeper's side. Pickford's watching it all the way.
Jordan Pickford launches the ball to great cheers from the vast majority inside the stadium in Atlanta, who have gone through the lot this afternoon in Georgia. 1-0 down England. There seemed to be no way past the inspired Lionel Messi in the DR Congo goal. But Harry Kane, Alan, had two other thoughts.
Well, his country, his manager Thomas Tuchel were in one big ball. He's just got out of it with an incredible strike from the edge of the box. We said, who is going to get England now? Who are they going to go to? And he's the man once again. What a brilliant, brilliant finish.
It's the stuff of Shakespeare once again. Cry God for Harry, England and St George. We should be used to this by now. They've done it in the hardest way possible. Through they go to a last 16 tie with Mexico in their home at the Azteca in the early hours of Monday morning with a 1 AM kickoff, and that will be live with us on BBC One. Full time here. England 2, the Democratic Republic of Congo 1.
So we've all just got about enough time to recover before that Mexico game. Sunday night into Monday morning. Before we even look ahead to that, look, if you are going to be at your fluent best, if you are going to struggle at times with your performance, you need your big players, don't you? France will do it, Argentina will need it, Brazil will need it, Spain will need it, and England need it sometimes.
I said at half-time, Tuchel, he's based his team around Harry Kane because he's a genuine superstar. Yes, we could go into details about what he doesn't do, but when you've got a special player like that who doesn't need much space in the box and can finish like he can, that's exactly why Tuchel is doing that. Yes, all performance could be a lot better, but it's not moments. You said it yourself, Argentina, Messi, France, Mbappe. I just think with England now, he is the one who stepped up when we needed him the most. He's an absolute hero.
What now? What now, he was quoted as saying, because he just keeps back to wall. Harry Kane is stepping up for his country. I love the aggression. I love the fire in his face. He knows that wasn't a good performance, and he knew he was going to have to dig deep. I don't care what you are as a superstar. There would have been moments in that game where he's saying, am I that guy? Am I going to be the guy today? And when it happened, it needed to happen. Header in front of goal, and that last finish was to talk to me.
That's incredible. I think the both goals, I thought his header was brilliant. A little bit of movement and a great goal. He had to keep him to it, but the second goal was incredible. And he's just such a top player. We're seeing all the best players in the world perform at this World Cup. Messi, you've got Mbappe,
Two more goals.
Harry Kane, Miles, well. And Haaland, he's England's superstar, and as Mika said, he's the hero for us. A few things need to clean up. I weren't too sure on midfield and the defence at times today, but the main thing in knockout football is you get through, and thankfully Harry Kane has done it again for us.
Not only get through, but find a way. I mean, that's the other thing, isn't it? And Thomas Tuchel's talked about progression through this tour. I don't know if I shut up whether we can hear this. No. Is the answer. We'll try and find out. Maybe when we talk to him, we'll try and find out what he said. But it is progression. It's get out to the group stage, then get through the first knockout stage and build and build. There are going to be questions, as Wayne says, Joe, and we'll come on to them. But at the moment, it has to be just job done, does it?
100%. I think so. We've got to enjoy this moment, and they've made a real big thing of this. Right now, they've got the job done in a difficult circumstance. Their captains come through, they stuck together as a team, they've had to change multiple positions during the game. Crowd was starting to get a bit edgy, weren't they? We heard it in the first half, but they've got through it. But there'll be no doubt the debrief now going into these next couple of games is massive.
I think Thomas Tuchel's got a lot of answers for tonight's game.
He's got a lot of answers.
Yeah,
right.
For tonight's game. I think there will be questions, and I think he's got a lot of answers in terms of some of the individuals. I think the performances were not great. Obviously, we know Harry Kane, but Jude Bellingham was excellent on the game. But I think we'll have a lot of answers, and this is where now he's going to need the squad, because normally the team starts the tournament, and not the team finishing.
We're just seeing DR Congo at the moment, and what a World Cup they have had as the England players look towards the fans as they've seen Wonderwall back at each other. Look, everybody of an English persuasion is happy they've gone through. It's hard not to feel an element of sympathy for DR Congo, even though they're on the back foot in the second half.
Yeah, they started really well in that first half. As the game went on, England grew into the game. And you're looking back at that missed chance, aren't you? That potentially could have put them 2-0 up at the time. They didn't take it. But again, I'll give England credit for that, because they was resilient in getting back into the game. I feel around the whole context of the game, England were the better team, but DR Congo had very good moments within the game, which on another day could have went different.
The difference in the last 20, 25 minutes was Saka come on, Paul was the third, Andy Gordon come on, Paul was the third, and we got balls in the box, and then when DR Congo were heading the balls out, he would pick up the second ball and then go again. That was a big difference.
I think that's what's really good to see is the fans, because at half-time, the fans were sort of in disbelief, but we see here the fans enjoying it, came there. It's just absolutely brilliant to see, because it could have been so bad, and they turned it around and enjoying that.
These moments are phenomenal. These are the moments when you could just drop the mask for a couple of minutes. You can drop the mask of being an elite professional who's in a World Cup, who's got to be on it every single day, sleep, recovery, training. You can just have 2 or 3 minutes with your fans who travel all the way out there. That's when it starts going through your mind, all the effort that people made to come out here, to share that special moment. Drink it in, because it can go. And England they're on a journey, no doubt about it. They made it difficult, but that was stuff like that I love. I absolutely adore seeing that.
Genuinely, in these situations, these tournaments, that's your only sort of 3 minutes of release. That's why they're important. That's why they're important to the players.
I think so. I think when you're going to that tournament to win it like these guys are, the focus that goes into it every single day, the seriousness that you need. Of course, you have little 5 minutes here and there where you're having a chat and you can switch off and talk about families. I mean, really, really enjoying your work. Those 2 or 3 minutes there, singing Wonderwall with your arms out with the English fans in that stadium will be a special, special moment.
Well, football is nothing without the fans.
It's not. It's really not. And so much effort has gone in from these English fans travelling over. Look at that. Look at these beautiful
It's
things.
just that extra percentage that you need to go to the next level, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. It's the only time you work with the players. Obviously, the expectation of you're out in your hotel and you're preparing for the next game. It's the only time that now the pressure's dropped, as Joe was saying, for that few minutes, the pressure's dropped, and you're enjoying it. You're taking these moments in, and these moments you'll relive over and over again in your head.
Is there a greater positive of coming from a goal down to win rather than maybe just going through 1-0? Can you take more out of it?
Yeah, I think it feels a lot better because, again, like I mentioned before, that resilience, at one stage it looked like England were lost. Even though there was creating chances, there wasn't that combination, there wasn't that rotations that we all wanted to see. But throughout the game, they got better and better and better, and that's where you lean on the big superstars in the team, whether it be Jude Bellingham, whether it be Harry Kane. I think the subs, we talked about Southgate at times maybe not making the subs at the right times. Tuchel made the subs at the right times. Gordon, Eze was brilliant. Even the tactical switch to put Rice to right back on the first goal, he was heavily involved. I don't know if that's something he'll do going forward, but today certainly worked.
He's been forced into that, I think, because of the injuries which we've had, and I completely agree. I thought the subs were outstanding when they come on, and part of that is because he's been brave enough not to play the top. I think in previous regimes we've seen players playing because, you know, they're the best player. But he's been brave enough to leave Saka on the bench. He's changed Anthony Gordon and Marcus Rashford, so he's kept them hungry, he's kept them on their toes, and then you get the reward of that. So you've got Saka to come on off the bench, you've got Eze to come on, you've got Gordon to come on with that hunger, knowing that if you do well, you might start the next game. So I think the manager deserves credit for that, but still, I wanted more. I think there was more from that England team.
I think when we talk about, we use the word bravery, and the first goal, exactly that. What I showed before the game is that underlap, whether it's from your fullback, Rice was in a fullback position when that happened, but it's so important because Tuchel there, he's saying we want more, keep the intensity up and go, make runners. He always sort of directs his frustration to Spence, but in terms of this year, the Arsenal trio there, Rice in that right back position, and what's interesting here, like I said before, making those runs in behind, it sort of frustrates the defender when they're not knowing where to stay or whether to go, and then you've got Gordon who comes on, puts in a really good delivery, and then who else but Harry Kane in that position, Wayne?
This is purely anticipation and reading the game and the understanding of the game. You see him here in the middle of the box, trying to get across the defender. But as Anthony Gordon gets this out of his feet now, it's just that little movement. As soon as the defender takes his eye off Harry Kane, it's that little movement to get right in front of him. And it's a really good header. Yeah, the keeper could do better, but how many times have we seen Harry Kane do this? Being in the right position. We spoke about Haaland exactly the same yesterday. This is why we score that many goals.
I tell you what, Bellingham had a few of those chances, didn't he, in a similar sort of area, and we're talking about Jude Bellingham being the England saviour, but Harry Kane just stays, he's relentless, he gets that movement, gets that free header. I agree with you, as Mbappe can save that. He 100% be so disappointed with the game.
Difficult to criticise him after the game he had.
Of course it is, but that's that's the life of the goalkeeper. Of course, we talked about Jordan as well at his near post and those slight little misjudgments he's made. He's thrown a hand at it and not got enough, and he'll be really disappointed with that.
Okay, let's hear from the England captain, England's goal scorer, England's saviour tonight, Harry Kane.
Well, Harry, you've had some big moments in an England shirt, but you've just kept them in the World Cup. How on earth does that feel?
Yeah, it was amazing, to be honest. Yeah, what a crazy game, obviously. First and foremost, playing against a tough team, well-organised team. Going behind, but kind of after that first hydration break, I thought we upped the level, we looked good. I mean, their keeper made some unbelievable saves in that first half. And it was just about pounding the rock, keep pounding the rock, and our moments would come. We spoke about people having hero moments. It can be anyone in the team. Whether it's me, a save from Pickers, a block from the defenders, whoever it is, we have hero moments. And yeah, for me, it was the day.
Your first goal kept England alive, of course, but your second one, that celebration, was 80-odd minutes of frustration coming out?
Yeah, I think so. I think you have to stay patient in these games. The last couple games were very similar, and obviously when you get to knockout football, the pressure is higher, the risk is higher. But we spoke all week just about being ourselves. And from an attacking point of view, it's probably our best game of the tournament so far. Obviously still things to work on for sure, but ultimately these rounds are just about getting through. I think the boss spoke about it before the game. This one and the next one are two difficult games for different reasons. The next one obviously away in Mexico against Mexico, but you know, we're in the part of the tournament where you have to grind wins out, and that's what we've done today.
Special teams at the end with the fans, they're still singing now, but we also saw you go into a huddle. What did you say to the rest of the squad?
Just told the boys to enjoy it, you know, sometimes as an England player, when you go through tough games like this and games that you're expected to win, you don't really celebrate how you should, you know, we're the same as every other nation, we're through, so enjoy it, you know, we're in a World Cup, we're fighting for every moment, every little margin, so without getting caught out.
The way England finished that game then, that has to be something to kick on from, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. We spoke even from the Croatia game, you know, the subs will make an impact. We've got wingers who are fresh, who are coming into the game and keeping the level even higher. And you saw that again today with B and Ant, just over 90 minutes, you know, they're tough to handle. So, yeah, all we need is please for everyone involved, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Well done, Harry.
Thank you.
The records keep racking up for him, as you saw there. He's gone above Pele to joint 6th on the all-time World Cup scorers list with 13. Take a look at his second goal.
I really like this goal from a few different points of view. I think if you answer the ball here, but what has Pop up for game is wingers staying wide. That allows Jude Bellingham, O'Reilly being in a position where he's attracting their midfielders through. That allows Jude Bellingham to be in that number 10 position. So from that position, he can make these runs in behind. And it's a really good run. It's a really good pass. And then he gets a shot off. It's a really good save with the goalkeeper. And then Andy Gordon yaps quick to him. And then this is just sublime. Gets it out of his feet. Doesn't have to look at the goal. He knows where the goal is. And that is technique. It's power. It's just so much going on with that goal, which is, to try and explain it is very difficult. It's touch there, bang. It's instinctive.
Is it that second touch that gives him the space and the angles then? Wow.
It is, but then as all great centre forwards, he doesn't have to look at the goal. He knows where the goal is, and his technique to score there.
He trusts it so much, was, you know, from my point of view in goal. I've got 4 DR Congo defenders around him there, and not once does he panic. He just wants to get it out of his feet. He knows his angles, he knows the trajectory that he wants when he turns and he swivels and he hits it. From the moment he left his foot, he would have been celebrating. That is not getting saved.
What's so different as well from the defender's point of view? Because he's not the quickest. Oh, look at these. Yeah.
He made it in Newcastle. By the looks of it. Manchester, where they decided to do it indoors.
That was similar to here.
And there it was in Birmingham as well. And then to Wembley, finally.
What do you see more beers flying around?
It is only 7 o'clock in the evening. There's plenty more time. Wait till Sunday night, Monday morning. Goodness me, there'll be an awful lot there. Is it just going back to the Harry Kane finish? It is. If he'd have looked up, he would have given the DR Congo defenders a chance to.
Yeah, he would have, but he doesn't need to. That's what I'm saying. You must remember, you know where you are on the pitch. You know, we'll know, you know, the little percentages, little fractions of where the D is. So we'll know exactly where he is. He'll have been in this position so many times in training, in other games, that he knows exactly what his surroundings, he knows the defenders around him. He knows where the space is to put his touch. And as soon as his touch goes into that space, he knows exactly what he's doing. It starts outside the post and whips it back in. And he hits it absolutely perfect. The goalkeeper has got no chance. He could put 3 goalkeepers in there to not save it.
There's the race for the Golden Boot. He's brought himself level with Erling Haaland after Erling Haaland got the goal to beat Ivory Coast yesterday. Lionel Messi has a game in hand. Important to point out in that race for the goal. It's some race.
Look at those names.
It's some race. It's unbelievable.
That's what you sign up for. That's a World Cup that you sign up for. Those names performing at the top level.
Just going back to the Harry Kane thing, as a defender in that situation, because he's not the quickest, you feel as though you've got him. And when he turns, so if you look at where the 2 defenders were, they were thinking it's sort of job done a little bit because you sending him away from goal. But as the guys have mentioned here, he doesn't need that much time to get the accuracy and the power to get it in there, because all you want to do is, you don't want him in the middle of the goal. You want to push him as far away from the goal as possible. But at any angle, because his shooting technique is so good, he's so difficult to mark, I would say, oh, no problem. shoot from there, and then he puts it in the top corner, and it's so difficult to adjust your position because you sort of don't know what he can do, and when he does it at a speed which you don't expect him to do it at.
Where do the three of you stand on what he said to Kelly there about it being England's better performance? Because at half-time you could be critical about how England had played and the fact that they weren't creating that many chances till after the water break. They were definitely the dominant team in the second half. So do you agree with him, or do you think he's slightly overplayed it?
For me, there's big concerns. Obviously, we're all delighted that England's gone through, but there's big concerns there. And in particular, when England lose the ball, they are so open against a better team. And it's not give the Congo a lot of credit for how they played and caused England some problems, but against a better team, I think we're in big trouble if we don't sort that out. They're so open in midfield. I think there's no... The connection isn't great between the back line and midfield. Full-backs are struggling. Nico O'Reilly done well tonight. Full-backs are struggling. Madueke struggled. There's just no connection. There's big gaps in the middle of the pitch, and that is a big worry for me. And I don't want to sound too negative, by the way.
Well.
That's very negative. No, I know, but I've got to be honest with what I've seen, and that's not just this game, it's in the previous game, so I think that gives Thomas Tuchel what I said, there's answers. I think he's got answers of what he's got, and he really needs to look at that, otherwise we'll go out.
Well, it's very fair to draw attention to that, because Thomas Tuchel isn't going to go back there and tonight, when they get back to the hotel, think, yeah, everything's great, is he? I mean, he will have absolutely the same problem, and there are problems to solve.
And I think that's interesting that Harry Kane he doesn't say things for the sake of it. It may well be their best performance in terms of the chances that created, and there was plenty of good things, but I think it highlights how much clunky of England have been so far, because I think it actually was their best performance, but that highlights that they haven't exactly been purring. They had some great moments against Croatia, but against Panama and Ghana they struggled. Tonight they had a lot more moments where they struggled, but they did look devastating when they really started to
just quickly, the right back position is a conundrum.
Yeah.
You've had Declan Rice had to fill in at right back.
The most difficult.
Jed Spence has only played 298 minutes at right back. He's used to playing on the left, and to someone who's played fullback or who hasn't played fullback, you might think, oh well, he's played on the left, he can play on the right, it should be the same. But it's actually not, because your body positions are completely different. You're crossing from one side. I think he really struggled today, Spence, and I don't want to keep going back to who we haven't got, but when you've got the injury to Livramento, it is a problem. When Kwanzaa went out, if you wanted to play him, it is a problem. Reece James, and now you're thinking, could have Trent Polity give us something different in this game? Those are the question marks that he'd probably be asking himself now, because if you want to go with Rice at right back, then you've talked about the midfield. You lose Rice's pace and power in that midfield area. So I think there's certainly things that England need to look at if they want to go further.
We've seen before where players come out of retirement. I think the minute Livramento got injured, I think he should be right on the phone to Kyle Walker, because Kyle's still more than good enough and more than capable of playing in this England team. So I would have been on the phone to him saying, listen, we need you here, can you come out and help us, because that could really cost us, and I'm worried on that.
Okay, we'll come back to that discussion in just a moment. Let's get more reaction from England. Elliot Anderson with Kevin.
Wow, Elliot, quite the game. How do you reflect on that?
Yeah, it was a good game. It was tough. We knew what they were going to come and do, and it was exactly that. Really hard to break down, and we just stuck by each other and went to the very end, and thankfully got through.
We've spoken a lot about the importance of Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane, but today I think we saw just how important the captain is to the team.
Yeah, definitely. Big game players, we look at these players and look to them to get us through the next round as well. We build the foundations and try to get them the ball, and they'll do their stuff. So yeah, I thought they both were amazing.
You've spoken a lot about how difficult it is to break teams down, but how tough was it out there today, and how much better were England when the changes were made towards the end of the game?
Yeah, definitely. I think we grew into the game, although I think the first 20 minutes we were poor, and then from there I thought we were actually pretty good. Just struggled to score. The keeper was amazing, fair play to him. Yeah, the subs made a massive difference. So it's good.
Talk us through what the skipper said to you in the huddle at full time as well, because there were some special scenes out there.
Yeah, 100%. Enjoy it. I think that was his main message. We threw at the round of 16, go and enjoy it with the fans, and then we get our head down and work.
Were you able to enjoy it?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've just enjoyed it in the change room there. We'll have a good night to enjoy it, and then we'll get back on.
Thanks for your time, Albert.
Just remind you then on how England's path to the final looks. That is some games. Sunday night, Monday morning. You'll watch it with us. You'll be able to watch it with us here live on BBC One. Mexico in the Azteca. Get through that. It is Brazil or Norway in the quarterfinals in Miami. Are you excited or are you crying? I couldn't work out what you were doing.
I'm excited, but I'm nervous.
Right. And then it would be Argentina, a lot of people would think, in the semi-finals. Let's get Alan Shearer's thoughts still in Atlanta. Enjoy it tonight, but recognise there's stuff to work on. That seems to be the message out of the England camp.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that obviously the big picture is you got through to the next round and you're facing Mexico on Sunday evening, Monday morning. But it wasn't a good performance, and I've got the same concerns that I had in the previous 2 or 3 games about us defensively. Going forward, I thought it was better today, but we've spoken about the big hitters so much in this tournament, and rightly so, and we have to bring Harry Kane to that, because his 2 goals today I thought were absolutely superb. His movement for the header was great, but then the second finish, there's not many centre forwards in the world can produce that piece of magic. The way he turns and swivels, and the balance is incredible, and then to get the direction and the power into the roof of the net, that was some strike.
Do you take comfort from the fact then that, as we were saying in the studio, like several nations, England are also there with a man who can get them out of the hole if they need to be dug out?
Yeah, you've always got a chance. I think what we've learned from up to now from England is that obviously their 2 most important players are Bellingham and Kane, and I thought that was exactly the same today. I mean, Bellingham was really unlucky, but for the goalkeeper's couple of brilliant saves. He was the one that was trying to drive forward. He was the one that got forward for the goal as well. And then, of course, you're on about the brilliance of Harry Kane in front to goal. But in terms of defensively, I agree with all the guys in the studio. There are far too many holes in front of the back 4. And when we did give chances away, they scored with the first one. They should have scored with a whistle on. And there's just not enough quality from wide areas. Although his substitutions were very good. Back position. I would be, if you asked me that before, to have done that. But you've got a big decision.
Okay, Alan, thank you. Enjoy your trip to Mexico. Still to come this evening. Belgium against Senegal is at that's on ITV. You can listen to it on BBC Sounds as well. Then it's USA Bosnia build up from 10 to 1, and you can also see that on iPlayer. Would you look at Declan Rice's right back then? Mexico?
No, I wouldn't, because I feel like if you give too much in that centre midfield area, if you're going into Mexico game, which is going to be at altitude as well, I feel as though you're going to need his energy in midfield. I would probably go with Concert right back. I'd put Stones alongside Gay. I think that's a better balance for the team. You might need to tweak it at some part of the game, but no, I would have Rice's energy in the centre midfield.
I wouldn't want to. Listen, Declan Rice can play in so many different positions. He's a top-class player. But the options he's got.
We're ruling Spence out then, is that what we're saying?
I wouldn't rule him out. I think he's had a bad game.
Okay, we're going to continue on iPlayer. We'll have plenty more reaction on there as well. But just before we go here on BBC One, time to hear from Thomas Tuchel with Ken.
Well, Thomas, you can breathe now, but I imagine that was a lot more stressful than you'd have liked this evening.
Everyone gets what he likes. Everyone gets an early goal and another goal and an easy afternoon. That's not how it is. You have to deal with the situation as they come, and it got very difficult because they got a very early goal. But I have to say, like after the first water break, there was like 3, 4, 5 big chances. We had, I think, a penalty situation maybe in our favor, and we kept knocking, and to crack that rock and to make it happen. Goalkeeper had unbelievable saves, so it got more and more difficult, of course, but the reaction and the belief is one of a kind, and they were ready to keep doing what was necessary to do, and we found a way to win. Well deserved, by the way, well deserved.
A word on Harry Kane. We spend a lot of time talking about him
Thomas, but does he surpass even your expectations of him at this point?
That's what we expect from him. That's what we expect from him. I think it's what he expects from himself. Difficult matches, close matches. Harry's here to decide them, and it's top level.
And it was Anthony Gordon that set up both of his goals. Your substitutes in general, how pleased are you with the impact that they made?
Like I said through the whole tournament, the energy and the team spirit is on highest level, and the commitment from everyone, and I think everyone fully understands why, in which part of the tournament we are at the moment, and what it really takes. If you can see the level of support coming onto the pitch, but also from the players who are not selected, who don't even get minutes, they keep pushing and pushing. You see the faces, they're positive. In the water breaks, that's what it takes. I think everyone feels very comfortable when he plays. Everyone feels comfortable when he is selected to finish the match, and because of the atmosphere that the team provides for each other.
Do you now need to harness what you saw in those, like take hold of what you saw in those final few minutes, the attacking impetus, the way you ground them down, the way you got those breaks?
This like you said, of course, we want to have it like easier and have the first goal and whatever. But if you have it, if you come back from 1-0 down, if you need maybe the last quarter of the match to be so strong, and we win again the second half, these are also the experiences that give you genuine belief. So you don't need a manager to tell you you will believe it, because you felt it. And now that they felt it, and now they did a circle after the match together, then they have the reward in front of our fans, and these are the moments, and I think they're very well aware of what they did. They know what it took today, and they're just fully committed. I feel a team that's fully committed and full of belief.
Well done, Thomas.
Understandably, Joe, he's making a big thing of the togetherness and the fighting back from a goal down, as you would do.
Yeah, he's got to remain positive, and I think he means it. This is a guy who doesn't make things up. He doesn't just try and pander to the press or pander to us at home. He tells the truth. I think when he goes into a deep dive, he'll be understanding it wasn't their best performance, but ultimately in these games, and Harry Kane talked about it, sometimes you've got to dig deep and rely on each other, and that kind of family feel will be massive with England pushing on in this tournament.
Yeah, I think that's a big positive in terms of you can see they are together, and you don't win that game if you're not together, and as a group, and the subs coming on, not sulking, coming on, having a real impact. So I think that is a real positive from the manager's point of view.
Big improvements to make, but you can take the positives from that 100%.
They got through it.
They got through.
And they are in the last 16. Thank you to the three of you. Now, get ready to do it all again on Sunday. Deep breaths, everybody. See you then. Bye.
We know where we are. We know it's now the moment to dig in. It's the moment to do what we do. The mindset is clear. Everyone is ready to go.
This is a chance, and it's there! This is not how England envisaged the game starting. Real silky start from England. Haven't connected that ball as yet. Now the question's been posed. What have you got, England? How good are you? Can you imagine? Bradley has it crossed, and he's going to get it the other way. Lucky! Brilliant save. Lads, you're going on tonight. Step up, unless you do, you're packing your bags. Comes in looking for Kane. He is what it's meant to be. We should be used to this by now. They've done it in the hardest way possible.
Can't stop the spirit when they need you. This life is more than just a read through.
Who here can you trust? It's not acceptable not to know your identities nor you theirs.
Shake, shake, shake. Literally greater me.